And welcome back to Municipal Stadium, Waterbury, Connecticut. Game 3, final game of the day of Day 1 of the 2024 CACC Baseball Championship Double Elimination Tournament. Doug DeBias, once again, joined by Mark Mentone and partner. We've gone through 2. We've seen some interesting things today, both at the plate, on the mound, in the field. And I expect the same thing here in Game 3 today.
At the outset, about 8 hours ago, we said that there would be a very interesting, evenly matched tournament. A lot of different storylines. And now you've got one right off the bat, with a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed fighting to stay alive. 2 very high-scoring teams in the regular season. We'll see if that plays itself out this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The starting pitcher for tonight's game, for the Jefferson University Rams, number 2, Albert Bobadilla.
For those not familiar with the CACC and how they structure their tournaments, Jefferson is the home team this game. Will bat last by virtue of they being the number 1 seed in the South and Goldey-Beacom being the number 2 seed in the South. So they're on the field right now.
Starting pitcher for Jefferson here in Game 3. Albert. Beg your pardon there. Lost my voice there for a second. Albert Bobadilla, the senior righty from the Bronx. He will start. Battery mate will be the catcher, number 24, Josh Lopez.
The center fielder, number 7, Christian Petrillo.
Christian Petrillo to lead off for Goldie. Playing in center in this game once again. First pitch, foul to the backstop. Perfect start time there. Oh, and 1 the count. That one fouled to the backstop. Bobadilla this year, 6-1 over 13 appearances, 8 starts, 4.80 ERA. Not bad numbers thrown out for your number 2 here in the tournament. We talked a little bit in that first game about the depth that Pat Horvath's been able to build on this team this year. It's going to need to come through here tonight, keep their season alive, or at least keep their run alive in this tournament. Single to right there for Petrillo, so a leadoff single.
And in this era of Meadowback College baseball, a 4.80 is not bad at all.
Now batting for the Lightning, the shortstop, number 3, Braden Holmensberger.
Speaks to the unpredictability of baseball and what makes it different than the other sports. This game was originally scheduled for 5 o'clock because of the chance of rain tonight. It was changed to 4 o'clock, and the actual start time is 6 o'clock. As John Sterling used to say, you can't predict baseball.
I mean, it's facing the outfield, so...
Of course, I'm saying that talking about a Yankee announcer when we have a Delaware team and a Philadelphia team playing this game, so I'm not sure who got that reference.
It's facing kind of like on deck.
I'll see if one of the softball girls will go there.
Only 3 guarantees in life, partner.
What do you got?
Death, taxes, and the first day of this tournament will start later than you expect it to, especially Game 3. Throw over to first. Petrillo back in time. 1-1 the count. Coleman'sberger, the CACC Player of the Year at the plate. Showed bunt. Gets away, though, from Lopez. Petrillo able to move up to second.
Yeah, these players don't need me to make any excuses for them, but it is that weird time of day where it's starting to get a little overcast, the lights are on, they're not fully taking effect.
Well, we talked about it in the last game, and it's tough to say. You ask 5 different people, you'll get 5 different answers. Who stands to benefit the most? Is it the team that has stayed game fresh, like in this case Goldey-Beacom, who's already played, and Jefferson's had some downtime and now they need to ramp it back up? Or is it better for Jefferson because they've had a chance to at least kind of maybe take a deep breath from losing the first game, while Goldey still suffering that gut punch there, losing walk-off to Post?
Hey,
as I said, yes, 5 people, you get 5 different answers.
Yeah, honestly, I've heard both schools of thought, and as I've said on the previous games, I've followed this tournament since 2001, and I've seen it play out every which way. So statistically, I don't think there's really been any difference. It's just a feel.
Well, nice start here for Goldey-Beacom. Leadoff walk. Or, excuse me, not leadoff walk. A walk here to put runners at first and second. So runners at first and second. Nobody out here. Top of the first.
Now, we talked about 2 teams that score a lot of runs, and we have the first 2 runners on base already.
Throw down to third. Not in time, and that's going to put runners in scoring position at second and third. Still nobody out here in the first.
And here we go. Goldey-Beacom gets the first 2 guys on base, moves them on an aggressive play, show bunt, start the runners.
And there may be an aggressive mindset here, too, you think, by Tom Riley's squad to kind of flush that game that ended just about a half hour ago. Kind of try to flush that from your system. Keep the emotions high, keep the spirits going here. You know, hey, let's be aggressive. Let's try to scratch out some runs, and this is a new game. Let's get going.
That is why the baseball coaches, I remember when, the formats were discussed for playoffs and such, they're always so against a single elimination format of any kind. They just don't like one game deciding everything after they played 50. The first round is now a best of 3.
That one in on the hands there a little bit. That's going to be dropped into right field. This is going to bring 2 home. Oh, a nice piece of hitting there by Darren Miller. 2-run single.
Now batting for the Lightning. Designated hitter, number 55, Garrett Busey.
And that'll bring Garrett Busey to the plate.
Oh, I thought it was 9. I thought we started at 9.
That's what I was getting at. They actually keep this.
Quick start for the Lightning. 2 on the board before anyone's retired. Obviously a long way to go as we've seen, but couldn't ask for a better start.
Well, and this has always been an interesting game here, this game in this tournament. We were talking about you'd ask 5 different people, 5 different answers. You've also seen a lot of different outcomes, whether it could be a blowout for one side or the other, close game. You've seen a lot of offense already today, and sometimes this game becomes almost a pitcher's duel too. So Busey smashes that one foul over into the left field corner.
We talked about the game in 2016 where Felician's Jason Polgano threw a shutout to keep Felician alive that year. That was a 2-0 game, as I remember, in this particular round, this particular game.
1-2 the count to Busey. Swing and a miss by Busey. Throw down to second. Miller in there. Busey strikes out, so 1 away, but Miller gets into second. And he is now in scoring position.
Coach Horvath's going to ask for batter interference, but umpire was right there, didn't call it. Didn't think that the batter obstructed the throw. I believe that's what he's asking for. Or about.
You are correct.
Now batting for the Lightning, first baseman, number 23, Kyle Walker.
And that'll bring the first baseman, Kyle Walker, to the plate.
But But the Goldey-Beacom now with 2 shots at the base hit to score another run.
And the third base coach going over to Miller at second.
Wardrobe.
The umpire, yeah.
Yeah, I think wanted to bring him out. Piece of equipment, the running gloves or whatever it is.
So a run, 1 out, runner at second, 2 runs across already here in the top of the first for Goldey-Beacom in this elimination game. Kyle Walker, the first baseman, at the plate. Jefferson currently second in the NCAA Division II East Region rankings. Goldey-Beacom fourth. So these are 2 teams that have done a lot of work during the regular season, and getting to this point, got to think they're going to make it in as an at-large. Seeing stranger things, but you got to think this one going to caught by Tibercio. Oh, fantastic layout there in center field for 2 away. Miller has to get back to the bag.
He had a good defensive game the first time Jefferson played, and we mentioned his name a lot. That's a nice play, reading the ball off the bat. Again, at a tough time of day to see. I've heard the broadcasting old saw about not starting a story with 2 outs, but I wanted to, pitch bounced, gets away, runner moves up. I wanted to comment a little bit about your story about the regional rankings. Not your story, but you're mentioning it. And while what you said is absolutely true, I've always been careful whenever, as a mound visit may help me here, I've always been careful whenever discussing a conference tournament in any sport, especially one with an AQ, or especially one with an AQ, not to minimize how much these teams want to win the conference tournament for the sake of winning a conference championship. So I'm always careful not to talk too much about a conference tournament as it affects the NCAA rankings, as it affects NCAA seedings, because when I used to have my preseason meetings at Felicia where we would collect, the data and everybody's bio information, the teams would talk about their goals, and their goals, they'd always talk about banner chasing. I want a ring. They never talked about, I hope we get ourselves in position for an at-large berth. They want a conference championship, and they want it for its own sake. And to me, that's what these teams are playing for more than anything else this weekend.
Well, and you've said that before, if you don't win the conference tournament, you get an at-large to the regional, and you don't win that, what do you have to show for it?
Yeah, a lot of times, that's an overly simplistic view, but there are people that feel that way. I think the kids obviously get a great experience out of it, and some memories with their teammates. Yeah, they haven't maybe won anything tangible, a trophy or anything, but they've got a great season to remember. But these teams are playing for that dog pile on Saturday, and then the NCAA committee will do what it does.
Grounded back, just behind the bag there at second. Nice job there by Silva playing that well.
And perfectly positioned by his coaching staff.
And that will do it for Goldey-Beacom in the top of the first, but the Lightning do scratch out a pair. They lead it 2-0. We head to the bottom of the first. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. All right, we head to the bottom of the first. 2-0 Goldey-Beacom over Jefferson. The third baseman, Justin Egner, to lead off for the Rams here in the bottom of the first.
It looks like we got a lefty, Jake Kelcher. For Goldey-Beacom.
Leading off, the one-man first inning for Jefferson. Third baseman, number 9, Justin Egner.
Coach's calendar will overlay with it, so you're gonna be able to see,
About to get underway in the bottom of the first inning. Looks like lefty Jake Kelcher. Starts Egner off with a fastball, looked a little low. We're here at Municipal Stadium in Waterbury, Connecticut. Post University acting as the host. Kelcher falls behind 2-0. Doug DeBise giving some baptism under fire again. As I learn to do some play-by-play, I'm Mark Mentone, carrying you into the bottom of the first inning of Game 3 of the main draw of the CACC baseball tournament as Kelcher throws a strike. South Division regular season champion, top seed Thomas Jefferson at the plate. And Egner lines a single to left field. As like the lightning, the Rams get their leadoff man on.
And I'll pick this up for you there, partner.
All right.
Hey, nice job there, though. You're doing well.
Like we do it in the CACC. It's always baptism by fire.
Sell yourself shirts.
You can't do something, you figure it out.
Sell yourself short there. Don't sell yourself short there. Chris McLean, the first baseman, now at the plate. Nobody out, a runner at first. And McLean gets plunked. That's going to put the first two batters aboard here, just like Goldie was able to do back in the top half of the first inning.
We talked at the top of the show about these two teams both score a lot of runs. In fact, looks like they played a 19-11 game earlier this year.
Jake Kelcher on the mound, the senior righty from Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
Catcher, number 24, Josh Lopez.
Kelcher this year, 2-4 over 8 appearances, 7 starts, a 4.83 ERA. So the record, 2-4, maybe not great, but 4.83 is a pretty solid ERA, as you mentioned, here in the metal bats of college baseball.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
0-1.
You're going to give up your share of hits. It's about limiting the damage.
Josh Lopez, the catcher at the plate now.
Speaking of damage, let's see if Mr. Lopez can do some damage and get his team back in the game quickly.
0-1 the count to Lopez. Swung on, lifted into left field. Could this be gone? And it is a 3-run blast for Josh Lopez, and it's 3-2 Rams.
And that puts him in some rarefied air, as it's his 20th home run of the season. Is that correct?
It is his. That just rhymed right there.
Or do I have the Lopez's mixed up again?
His 20th home run of the season, 55 RBI.
And again, I don't have the last 3 years of data, but the only other CACC player in the NCAA era on record that's had more than that in a season is Jason Rust from Wilmington back in 2007 with 21.
Marquise Wood, the right fielder, takes a first pitch strike from Kelcher. Another one of the talented arms that Tom Riley has assembled at Goldey-Beacom.
Do you remember anybody since the pandemic having a 20 home run season in the conference?
I would have to look. I do not believe so.
He might be one home run away from the conference record, at least the NCAA era conference record. But 20 home runs in Northeast baseball, where you don't, get to play all your games sometimes, and you play a lot of 7-inning games, that's special.
Swung on and lifted foul, 0-2 the count. Foul to the backstop. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, so I want to go take photos of them, but like, it's gonna keep doing it, but also I need to do that, but I can't. I'm just trying to put the thing that shows the final score.
A pitch low.
So I want it to say 9. Yeah. So you have to. It's taking an entire inning to do it.
Grounded. Nice job there by Miller. Throws on to first for the first out of the inning.
Man, I'd love to see it.
Nice play there by the third baseman for Goldey-Beacom. Now, let's see. You said since the pandemic, Mason Maxwell from Goldey-Beacom led the CACC with 11 home runs back in 21. 22.
What about 20? Well, 20 was the year it got kibosh, yeah.
Somebody hit 20 home runs in 20.
Yeah, right.
They're playing in the show right now. 14 home runs for Autry from Goldey-Beacom in 22.
And last year, I wasn't around.
Last season was 17 by Bradley for Bloomfield.
So, looks like Josh Lopez is one away from the conference NCAA era record.
From tying or going ahead?
No, the record is 21. One away from tying it.
He'll tie it. 2-0 the count to Joshua Lopez. Oh, gets that one through the middle under the glove of DiSabatino. And that's a single for Joshua Lopez.
Do you remember in the first game when I talked about the friendly kind of banter between Coach August at Wilmington and Coach Langen at Felician about the 2007 Player of the Year race?
Yeah.
And I talked about how they still talk about it years later.
Yeah.
I just got a text from Dan Lauletta, longtime SID at Wilmington, who made sure to make the point to me that neither player with 20 home runs in CACC history was named CACC Player of the Year. So, yes, those wounds are still there.
Interesting.
Like I mentioned, that was my first year at Felician, and Frank Quintana from Felician won Player of the Year, and I obviously had a hand in helping promote that, and Frank had a great year with 16 home runs, about 50 RBIs, 500 on-base percentage, and about 30 steals as well.
So because of your PR campaign, you cost a guy with 20 home runs.
I'm going to say that, yes. I'm going to take credit for that.
The Black Angel of Death, I
yes.
say, yes. So.
And I can also say that Dan wasn't at Felician, at Wilmington yet, so this had nothing to do with him.
1-1 the count to Silva. 1 out, runner at first.
But that was also a metal bat season, and like I said, I remember.
What was the first year of wood bats in the East region?
I have it in the Felician record book. I could look it up. It wasn't long after that.
Is it 9?
It was either 9 or 10.
My first year in the East region was 10.
Okay.
We were wood bats at that time.
Yeah, but you were in the Northeast 10. I'm not sure the whole region was.
No, the whole region was.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole region was.
I'm going to check on that for you between innings.
I would say it may have been 09, may have been the first
Okay.
year. Because the legend at Franklin Pierce was, there was a guy by the name of Keith Rivers.
Okay.
Who, when they were using wood bats, and you've been at night games up in
Yes.
Ringe, where it is beyond the lights, it's pitch black dark.
Yes.
You lose it the second.
Yes.
He hit a home run that they said by the time it got past the lights and went into the pitch black darkness, it was still ascending.
Right. Well, I told the story in the first game. I'm not sure if anybody's was around that's still listening, but Jason Rust that season had a game where he hit a home run grand slam, a home run cycle. Excuse me, he hit 4 home runs, a solo, a 2-run, a 3-run, and a grand slam. So just right there, he had at least 10 RBIs.
So visit out to the mound here for Couchner. 1 out, runners at first and second for Jefferson here in the bottom of the first. Rams with 3 runs across already to take a 3-2 lead, courtesy of the 3-run shot from Josh Lopez. And then Joshua Lopez. Yes, there's a Josh Lopez and a Joshua Lopez. Joshua Lopez currently at second. Silva at first after he drew the walk. And Diego Santiago, the senior catcher from Moca, Puerto Rico.
You had no plans after the game, I hope, right? Because we may be here a while.
Oh, boy, that's a good question. No.
3-2 in the first inning of teams that have already played a 19-11 game this year?
I'll probably just get yelled at by the missus.
Oh, okay.
It'll be another night this week where she has to make dinner.
There you go.
I love it.
Grounded to second. Could this be 2? It will be 2. Well, that's a big turn and double play right there for Couchner and Goldey-Beacom. But Jefferson, 3 runs off the bat of Josh Lopez. 3-2 our score. Rams lead it. Back with the top of the second after this on the CACC network.
24-minute first inning.
That's what you love to see.
And we head now to the top of the second. 3-2 Jefferson over Goldey-Beacom. And partner, we're getting to that time of day where we're now really starting to really get into old man baseball announcing here.
Yeah.
Telling some of the stories from, for us, it doesn't feel like it was long ago, but you think back, it's...
Plus, we're not as young as we used to be, and we're both pretty tired.
We're telling stories from 17, 18 years ago here.
Yeah. Actually, once I came back to relieve Commissioner Mara, I was going to tell you a story that was even older than that, and then the game took over. I can work that story in at some point.
Commissioner Mara? Nothing's older than Commissioner.
Well, he wasn't even commissioner at the time.
Oh, he wasn't.
So that's how long ago the story was. I'll see if I can weave that one in this
I
house.
just got a death stare from the commissioner down at the other end of the press box.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
No, it won't be the last time. Wasn't even the first time today, probably.
That's Baba Dia Mrs. High.
First pitch of ball. First pitch of ball.
But I had said that
2-0.
I had said when I came back on that I would never interrupt Commissioner Mara. I was going to let him finish his inning and however many innings he wanted to be on. But the reason for that is I go way back with him. Before you guys had a conference office, the CACC SID position was a part-time position. I was in that position for 4 years, and it was before there was even a full-time commissioner. So I reported to Dan Mara, who was the CACC vice president at the time. So he and I go way back.
And Jalico thought he had a free pass there to first, and the home plate umpire said, "No, please come back here, young man." That one popped up in foul territory. Going to drop in.
Okay, count stays full.
Stays alive. Count full now on the left fielder.
Looks like Bobadilla threw 22 pitches in the first inning. He's already got a full count here.
This is going to be one of those you win by any way possible.
Yes.
You got to use X amount of arms, you do it, what have you, and you find a way to get some rest tomorrow as the other teams duke it out and play them in the afternoon at 2. That one gets away, but however, that's going to be a walk there. The count was full on Jalico.
And during Jalico's at bat, the sun just splashed the field again, so as we talked about the weather forecast changing every 15 minutes, so is the current weather.
Well, here's a player, and I thought you hit the nail on the head perfectly in the previous game. He seemed to walk his way into situations and really, find a way to. Some of those weren't even at bats; they were just plate appearances because he drew walks. But
he just seemed to
be
a
way to make things happen.
He just seemed to be at the plate with runners on base every time he was up and in big situations the entire game. The game found him, and in most cases he responded.
0-1 the count. Yes, he did. Swung on, lifted into center field. Ibercio back there just before the warning track. Down here in the second.
I was just going to say that. He hit that ball pretty well. Didn't even get to the warning track. Just a big park that plays big.
This field just swallows it up.
Yep. And you see in some of the fielders kind of struggle trying to find sight lines because they probably didn't come out of the dugout with sunglasses or any kind of sun glare on because it was very overcast just about 10 minutes ago.
McAvoy, the catcher, now at the plate. Big swing and a miss there. One down, runner at first here, top of the second.
Just like his counterpart, Josh Lopez, McAvoy catching his second game of the day.
That pitch outside. 1-1 the count. So McAvoy, back-to-back games here. Behind the plate. Where Lopez was, had some downtime. And, what a fantastic throw down to second. So Lopez there after the 3-run shot last inning. Guns down a runner at second. And the count now 2-1. To McAvoy. Fouls that one to the backstop. Count even at 2-2.
And a very close play, but in the 3-man umpiring system, it's a third base umpire making that call. And as he retreated to third base, it looked like it wasn't much of a conversation. You saw Lopez trying to steal one there. What he did was he tagged the runner first and then asked the umpire for the appeal, but by that time the home plate umpire had already asked, and the first base umpire said no.
Popped up foul. Lopez going over towards the first base grandstand to take a look.
Kind of a catching trick there. Because you just got the ball in your hand and you point and the guy calls the batter out, now the batter can run. So you tag him first. But the umpire also did the alert thing by asking on his own.
That pitch in there for a called third strike in. A little look there by Bobadilla. Looked over. I don't know if he was looking at the Goldey-Beacom dugout or if there were some Jefferson fans in the grandstand, but
definitely had something to say. Definitely had something to say, and it's worth keeping an eye on.
So 3-2, we head to the bottom of the second. We're going to step back and join you here momentarily after this on the CACC Network. Thank you. We head to the bottom of the second. 3-2 Jefferson over Goldey-Beacom. 8-9 hitters due up for the Rams here in the bottom of the second. Vita, Tibercio, and Egner due up. Vita, the second baseman, leading off here.
Second baseman, number 10, Van Villa.
Pitch over for a strike from Kelchner. A couple things to keep track of here, as we talked about, is right before we went off the air in the middle of the second, looked like Bobadilla had something to say to the Goldey-Beacom dugout. I'm assuming, I don't want to. I think all the Jefferson fans are here probably behind the dugout there, third base dugout where Jefferson's at. You mentioned Josh Lopez looked like he did a little bit of that one sent over towards the grandstand. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, he did a little bit of a two-step on his way to third base. It was different.
Grounded to short. Coleman's Burger throws on and gets him. Looks like he got handcuffed a little bit there as it was coming over to him, but able to make the throw in time.
Nice scoop on the other end by Walker.
Vita retired 6-3. Tibercio now at the plate. The center fielder. We've already seen him in this game lay out for a really nice catch there in center field, and that was after we saw him make 2 or 3 nifty plays out in center in game 1 today against Felician.
Yeah, he's done a nice job tracking balls and saving runs, keeping his team in games.
That pitch over for a strike. Tibercio falls behind 0-1. One away here. Bottom of the second. Nobody on for the Rams. They lead at 3-2. Off-speed pitch there. This is low, 1-1.
But he was standing in the cutout. So if they turn and run, you're going to have to chase everybody. So as I said, the minute
Pitch over for a strike.
just start backing up.
Count goes 1-2.
Back in, they got to play if there's something there. But you certainly want to be able to stay there. Whether it's someone else.
Swing and a miss there by Tibercio.
For some reason, I was at home last night and said I could.
2 away here in the second.
Why there's no way it would reach. I thought about it.
Head back to the top of the order. And third baseman Justin Egner singled and came home to score on Josh Lopez's 3-run blast back in the first inning.
Interesting conversation going on in your field, Mike, there.
That pitch misses low. Just below the knees there. 1-0 the count. Kelchner looking for a big bounce back inning here. He's retired the first 2 he's faced. That one misses inside.
Yeah, it would mean so much to both him and his team.
A pitch over for a strike. 2-1 the count. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. 3-2 Jefferson. Pitch low, just south of the knees. 3-1. Kelchner in danger of losing Egner here with 2 away in the second. Lifted foul over the first base grandstand. 3-2 pitch, swung on, lifted into left field. Jalico going back. He's under it for the out right before the warning track. So a nice 1-2-3 inning there for Kelchner and Goldey-Beacom. We'll stick here as we head to the top of the third, but partner, a busy last 2 weeks in the Horvath household. Talked to Pat Horvath a couple weeks ago on the eve of the nominating and voting period for all conference. Conference always does a Zoom meeting with the coaches to go over all the policies and procedures. That was done back last Monday.
Okay.
And Pat Horvath wasn't able to make the call. He gave me a call afterwards and apologized for not being on. But earlier in the day, his wife gave birth to a baby boy.
I guess you'd let that slide, right?
I let that slide,
yeah.
Yes. Everybody doing well. So
good.
That's great to
good,
hear.
Very good.
Yes, so great to hear, but very busy with, wrapping up the regular season, making sure your guys are getting to their finals, graduation, getting ready for this tournament, a new bundle of joy. So, but everybody doing well, he said. So, for the Horvath family, if they're watching, great to hear. Excited for the Horvath family, and great to hear that everybody's doing well.
Absolutely, congratulations, and it must be a hectic time all the way around. And it's an underrated thing that we don't talk about enough, is that when you work in coaching or athletics administration, the toll it sometimes takes on the families when they don't see you for a long period of time. The crazy hours, the weird hours, they're not traditional at all.
The wives really are the MVPs, aren't they?
Yeah, the spouses and the kids that don't see you. I never went that direction, but I know plenty of people that have and talk to them regularly, and it's just a tough thing.
Top of the order, due up for Goldey-Beacom here in the third. 1-2-3 hitters. Petrillo leading off. Petrillo singled and scored back in the first.
Also know plenty of families where both spouses are involved in college athletics and don't know how they do it.
Swung on, lifted into center field. Here comes Tiburcio under it for the out.
Maybe didn't see it right off the bat, but used his speed and his ability to read the ball to recover and make the play.
Yeah, froze him a little bit. Didn't have a jump on it right away. But he's got closing speed out there.
And again, these players don't need me to make excuses for them. They're great players, but I'm not sure if the changing skies had anything to do with that.
Coleman'sberger now at the plate. Walked and scored back in the first inning. First pitch, a strike to Coleman'sberger, the CACC Player of the Year from Bobadilla. That pitch low.
We're going to leave it up here.
But I just know so many of the coaches I've worked with that have children, and the creative ways they've found to spend time with them. It's not easy.
Well, practices and games almost become the family dinner table.
It's true.
This one lifted into right. Wood under it for the out.
I know you've spent plenty of time on campuses before. Did you tell me once that this is your 10th year with the CACC?
10th year with the CACC.
Where did it go?
Good point, or good question. Where does it go?
But good to hear everyone do healthy and doing well in the Horvath household, and that's definitely an underrated part of working in college athletics.
First pitch of ball there to Miller. Had a 2-run single back in the first inning.
When you do see your coworkers a lot more than you see your family at certain times of year.
It is swung on, lifted into center. Here comes Tiburcio. He's not going to get to that one. He's going to cut it off right before the warning track, but that's going to be a 2-out double for Miller. 2 for 2 now today. Nice piece of hitting there by the Goldey-Beacom third baseman. That'll bring the designated hitter Garrett Busey to the plate.
The designated hitter, number 55, Garrett Busey.
See if the Lightning have some more of that 2-out magic they displayed in the last game. That one sailed. A few more ways to score from third base, even with 2 outs. In the first game today, we saw a couple of bunt hits with runners on third. Don't think Musey's going to go that direction, but puts a little more pressure on Lopez to block the ball, as he just did. Very nicely. And Musey will get a look at the 2-0 pitch. Bobadilla might have pulled a string on him a little bit. As Musey tries to tie this game up. Top of the third inning. And Lopez isn't able to block that one. Looks like it went off his shin guard, and the game is tied. As we were just talking about, a few more ways to score from third than from second, and that was one of them. A wild pitch. Meanwhile, Musey with a 3-1 count, maybe a chance to start another 2-out rally.
We were watching those games. Yeah.
3-1. Got to be careful here against a dangerous hitter in Musey.
Good hack.
Count runs full. Walker on deck. Charles in the hole.
So with 2 outs, Miller, the double, scores on a pair of wild pitches.
Swing and a miss, big strike. And once again, Bobadilla looking over at the Goldie dugout. And in this moment, actually, one of the assistants for Goldie is just mentioning to the first base umpire and pointing kind of in the direction of Bobadilla. And now one of the assistants, though, pointed at the Goldey-Beacom dugout, one of the Goldey-Beacom assistants, and maybe mentioned to somebody to stay quiet. I'm not sure, but Tom Riley's talking with first base umpire there.
And these conversations tend to have a lot of whataboutism. Umpire's going to talk to a coach about your guy, and coach is going to say, well, what about their guy? And that's what these conversations tend to have a lot of. Umpires are trying their best to nip it in the bud.
You got to be careful. You don't want to take the emotion out, but you also don't want to have something stupid that leads to something stupid later on.
It looks like the conversation between Horvath and the home plate umpire is ending in smiles. For now, anyway. When I was at Felician, before your time, this is back in like 2010-11, we had a guy named Joel Sanchez. He was a transfer from Monroe College, a pitcher. And it got to a point where almost before just about every game, Chris Langen had to go to the umpire and say, hey, this guy talks to himself. And it was just weird. He would talk to himself, and Chris had to make sure the umpire knew that he wasn't talking to the umpire. He was just a guy that was maybe borderline OCD, maybe just a little hyper, but
was he like trying to motivate himself?
Yeah, that was just pretty much it. And he was just, and he wasn't looking at anybody. He was looking straight in. So the umpire might have thought he was talking to him, but most times he really wasn't.
Gotcha. I got you. Two, 3, 4 hitters due up for Jefferson here in the bottom of the third. McLean, the first baseman, leading off. Hit by a pitch back in the first, came around to score on the Lopez home run.
But
that pitch misses low, count even at 1-1.
Other than Felician pulling away late in the first game, these 3 games have been tight the whole way. Punch, counter punch. Teams rallying, teams answering the rally.
That one nabs McLean, hit by a pitch for the second time in this game already.
Yep. Ball just bore in on him.
And I think both times have been down kind of around the foot areas.
Yeah.
It's kind of been an off-speed pitch.
Again, nothing going on other than ball getting away and batters close to the plate.
And the man that smacked that 3-run blast back in the first inning, Josh Lopez, now at the plate. We've seen 3 homers today. Is that where we're at? Lopez with 1 and then Kelly with 2. So swing and a miss there by Lopez. So we've had a couple others that have gone up against the fence for the warning track.
Yeah, I think we got through game 1 without any home runs.
You don't cheat. You don't cheat this park with a home run. You earn every ounce of it. Nice job there by McAvoy to block that, keep it in front of him.
Yeah, both catchers working hard this game. Both a lot of pitches that are breaking down.
One fought off there by Lopez, foul over the third base dugout.
Kelchner got in on his hands. Lopez able to fight it off. Get it in foul territory at least, so he gets another swing at it.
1-2 the count. Lifted foul over the dugout. Or excuse me, over the bullpen there, just beyond the third base dugout.
Again, gets himself another swing, another chance at it.
1-2.
Good plate coverage.
Well, fans, just a reminder, tomorrow, first game scheduled for 11 a.m. We'll be on the air at 10:45 with the pregame show. That'll be between Post and Felician. Swing and a miss there by Lopez. Strikes out.
It was a good sinker, yep.
Stay tuned to CACCathletics.org for any potential changes in the schedule. Depending on the weather that comes through, they're calling for rain to potentially start here around, they're saying around 10 p.m. Kind of go throughout the night. But you know what? We haven't checked in a while, and Lord knows there's probably been a lot of changes to the forecast since we've looked. Calling for rain at 10 p.m. still.
Okay.
Rain at 4 to 5 a.m. Rain at 9 a.m. Rain at 10 a.m. Then after that, it drops below 50%. It goes to 40%. And then they call for rain again at 4 and 6 p.m.
So it'll be an interesting day.
So now what type of rain are they calling for tomorrow? Cloudy and cooler with a couple of showers. A cool Mother's Day weekend is on the way. But now they're calling for a thunderstorm on Sunday.
Good hack at a 2-0 pitch by Wood. No. And for the purposes of this tournament, obviously everyone hoping Sunday's not needed. Mother's Day here in the United States. Kelchner misses up, falls behind 3-1. 1 out here in the third.
So what did you get your mom for Mother's Day?
Some candy.
That one fouled off over the press box.
We're trying to figure out a time to go to dinner, but with, my schedule, my brother's schedule. My brother coaches his nephews in youth baseball.
We end up right near the end of June because we got Mother's Day, Father's Day, my parents' wedding anniversary late June, my mom's birthday, which falls right after that. Swung on, lifted into left field, and this one is gone! A 2-run shot! Marquise Wood, 5-3 Jefferson.
Must be a team thing because Wood did the same dance near third base.
Well, you see that in the majors now, too, with a lot of teams. They'll do something with the third base coach.
Oh, okay, so that's where it's coming from. I don't watch much Major League Baseball anymore, but
well, as I was saying, we do all that, we get the nice Omaha Steaks gift box to send to the parents. So
oh, okay,
we combine everything all into one there. So.
okay.
And that home run was brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Maybe we can get a corporate sponsor here for the CACC.
Well, as Coach Riley comes to the mound to remove Jay Kelcher, we should make the point that you live a good 8-hour drive from your parents?
No, only 5.5.
Only 5.5. Okay.
Only 5.5.
All right. And that was actually one of the reasons, as long as we have some time to talk, why I wanted to get back to Connecticut, so that I could be closer to my family. I grew up in Connecticut, but I was living in New Jersey for 21 years. I thought it was going to be a whistle stop. Turned into a little bit longer than that, 5 years at NJIT and 16 at Felician.
I thought Connecticut would be a whistle stop.
For you, yes. And you've been here, 10, you said?
10 years.
Yeah. A lot of changes in your life in that time. It's just amazing.
You ain't kidding.
It's weird how it happens when we least expect it.
Nate Miller, the sophomore righty from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Not too far from where I grew up.
Okay.
Just outside of Harrisburg.
All right.
Moving on to pitch here for Goldey-Beacom. Let's get you his numbers. Nate Miller on the...
That was a weird call.
Yeah. Stay straight. 0-2. Miller going for the put away and getting the put away. Miller not working quite as quickly as Justin Jump was doing back.
52 strikeouts to just 19 walks. So Kelchner can't get out of the third. 5-3. All 5 runs for Jefferson here via the long ball. 3-run shot from Josh Lopez back in the first, and then the 2-run blast by Marquise Wood.
Now batting for the Rams, left fielder number 1, Josh Lopez.
And so that'll bring the left fielder Joshua Lopez to the plate. First offering here from Miller.
Well, we talked when Jefferson played Felician this morning about how potent their lineup could be and how even in the ninth inning at 10-4, it wasn't over and Felician coaching staff wasn't taking anything for granted. And now we're kind of seeing that play out.
Swing and a miss there by Lopez. Quickly falls behind 0-2 to Miller. So a big spot here for Miller. Limit the damage. Keep his team here. Keep him just within 2 runs. Still a lot of baseball left to go. 1-2 the count now to Lopez. Grounded. First baseman up with it. Walker underhands it to Miller, covering the bag. 2 away.
Now batting for the Rams, the shortstop, number 4, Gabe Silva.
That'll bring Gabe Silva to the plate. Silva drew a walk back in the first inning. First pitch outside. 1-0. Pitch over for strike 1-1. You were speaking the candy thing for your mom, and this one grounded to short. Coleman'sberger up with it. And nice 2 up, 2 down there for Miller, coming on in relief of Kelchner. You were saying about the candy. Got a big economy, so she can always grab a handful when needed. So,
well, my birthday's next weekend, so we may try to do a combined thing because everybody's, like I said, trying to mess schedules together right now. So in the meantime, I made sure I, showed her I appreciate everything she's done for me.
So we head now to the top of the 4th. 5-3 Jefferson over Goldey-Beacom.
I'm not sure where the heck I am in life right now anyway, but I'm not sure where I would be without my mother. Let me tell you that. And I'm not afraid to say it.
Well, it's always a good thing.
Yeah. I kind of won that parental lottery.
5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Lightning here in the top of the 4th. So Walker, Charles, and Jelico due up. Walker lined out to center on that diving grab there by Ty Bercio back in the first inning.
As we talked about all day with the games seesawing back and forth, Bobadilla staked to a lead again. See how he handles it.
That one nubbed foul.
Good start.
That's the one thing. Do you have the pronunciation? Because it says Bobadilla on the pronunciation guide, but I've always known it to be like a Bobadilla.
Oh, I could be wrong.
It right there. Well, no, because I've been almost getting close to calling him Bobadilla a few times. I want to make sure I've got it right, though. Jefferson's all the way in the back of our media packet here. That one grounded to second. Oh, under the glove of Vita. Walker safe.
Now, if I'm reading it right, you got it right.
Bobadilla?
Yeah.
Because that's what I saw.
Okay. No, I could be wrong. And if so, I apologize.
Last
Yeah.
name before, and it's also been Bobadilla.
Yeah. No, if I'm wrong, I apologize to his family and everybody watching.
We're going to score that an error on Vita. So leadoff batter aboard. And now bring Charles to the plate.
And we'll see how Bobadilla handles it. Should have had the leadoff man out. As we said, just staked to a lead.
Pitch outside, 2-0 the count.
Charles, one of just 2 left-handers in the Goldey-Beacom lineup.
Jelico on deck for Goldey-Beacom. Charles at the plate. That one skied to Silva just beyond the infield dirt. 1 away. Jelico now at the plate. Runner at first, one away.
The left fielder, number 28, Mitch Jalico.
Jolico bounces that one foul. 0-1 the count. Won the count. That pitch. Catches the outside corner there for the called strike. 1-2 the count on Jolico.
It's like they actually called it on the swing.
They called the swing there?
Yeah.
I did not check the swing. Nice job there by Lopez to block that.
Doesn't get the call on the inside edge. Down 2. We'll see if Goldie starts the runner. Full count, 1 out. They do. And it's ball 4.
Jolico draws a 1-out walk, puts runners at first and second. And that will bring the Sabatino to the plate.
The Lightning, second baseman, number 34, Dante DiSabatino.
He's listed on their roster as a switch hitter. Obviously, it makes sense batting left against the right-hander.
That one lined into right field, base hit. This is going to score 1. This will score 2 as well. Tied at 5. 2-run double for DiSabatino.
Just all day, he's been in the middle of it. And he has not shied away from it.
Now batting for the Lightning, the catcher, number 9, Adam McAvoy.
And that'll bring the catcher Adam McAvoy to the plate. 1 out. Runner at second. Walker and Jolico coming around to score on that double by DiSabatino. As you said, the game seems to find him. And he's come through.
More often than not, he has, and he responded right there.
So 5-5 the score. 5 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Goldie. And calling
They got him for a balk. He was trying to step off and call time. It looked like he raised the hands before he stepped off. Separated the hands while his foot was still on the rubber.
With only 1 out, the go-ahead run just 90 feet away now. First pitch over for a strike. Now, if you're McAvoy, you're just looking for a productive at-bat here. You don't need to get a hit.
No, not anymore.
To the outfield, you can, maybe hit one over to the right side.
Yep. We're still early in the game in a 5-5 game, so the infield's back. Second and short are back anyway. First and third are on the lip of the grass. There's a lot of ways here for him to be productive.
Pitch block there by Lopez.
And as we talked about last inning, a lot of pressure is not the right word, but it's incumbent upon Lopez to block what he can, with Bobadilla putting a lot of balls low in the zone and low out of the zone. Already had 1 run scoring a wild pitch. This is low and out there. And a walk wouldn't be the worst thing for McAvoy to bring the lineup back up to the top. Instead,
one lifted into right field. Wood under it. That's going to score a run. Sabatino tags up and scores from third. 6-5 Goldey-Beacom.
And that was the productive out you talked about. Hits a fly ball deep enough that after the balk, got that run in, gave his team the lead again. Goldey-Beacom responds.
So F9 sacrifice for your scoring at home. Trillo, the center fielder, now at the plate, as you said, turns it back to the top of the order. 2 outs, nobody on, but 3 runs across. That one ripped into center. That's going to drop in right in front of Tibercio. 2 out single for Petrillo. And that'll bring Coleman'sberger to the plate. Coleman'sberger walked and scored back in the first and then flew out to right back in the third inning. Pitch low.
Great note from Derek Credelli, the great SID at Goldey-Beacom, that Coleman'sberger was on the 2015 U.S. title-winning team of the Little League World Series.
That one grounded through the left side, base hit for Coleman'sberger. Petrillo heads up play there, goes to third, so runners at the corners with 2 outs for Darren Miller.
So before he was the CACC Player of the Year, he represented Redland of Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, on the Little League World Series team that won the U.S. Championship and then lost to Tokyo, Japan in the World Final. Looks like the score was 18-11 in the international final that year.
Run that by me again as I was writing some down. They won the U.S. Final.
They won the U.S. Final and lost to Tokyo, Japan in the World Final. This was 2015.
Okay.
Played for Redland of Lewisberry, Pennsylvania.
Lifted over the dugout, or excuse me, the press box behind. Backstop. Yeah, there's some good baseball there in Lewisberry, PA.
Okay.
The Little League team from my hometown, Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, 2 years ago, made it to the Little League World Series.
And
won a couple games.
That's such a source of pride for communities.
Got to the U.S. semifinals.
Okay.
We're going to miss there by Miller, but that allows Coleman'sberger to move down to second.
My family's Little League claim to fame was that my father umpired in a regional once. He umpired at a East Regional in Bristol.
The interesting thing about the trip, though, Hollidaysburg had to play up here in Bristol in the regional final to get to the World Series. And some of the kids that played on that team, their parents I went to school with.
Oh, wow.
So we were able to invite them over and host a little...
Nice.
Two and two the count now to Miller. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for the Lightning. 3 across here already in the fourth. As they went from trailing 5-3 to up 6-5.
That's how you found out.
Swung on, lifted into left. That's the right at the left fielder. Joshua Lopez snags that one, and that will do it. But the Lightning score 3 times. They take the lead 6-5. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. Seven, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Rams here in the bottom of the 4th. Santiago, Vida, and Tibercio. The designated hitter, Santiago, leading off. Get into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 1st. Swing and a miss there. He's got the, almost looks like the Bolt green batting gloves, the shade, the color shade of the eyes in the Jefferson Rams logo. That pitch catches the outside corner. Santiago caught looking.
Looked like the right call. Well done by Miller.
Maybe, and I don't know. Tom Shirley was listening earlier today. I don't know if he is now. He may be relaxing at home, but we got to get them to do like an alternate uniform, alternate jersey for their sports with the Volt green. It's part of your color palette.
That would look pretty cool.
That would look pretty sweet. I may get a response of saying, "Not going to happen, bad idea."
Verbatim, that might be it.
Yes, not going to happen, bad idea. 6-5 the score. Swung on, lifted into shallow right. That's going to drop in. Base hit. And we have a pinch hitter there. Was that number 6, Alex Gonzalez?
Now batting for the Rams, number 31, the center fielder, Jordan Tibercio.
That's what it looks like.
One.
See if they can spin it.
Third. Safe.
Good hard but clean slide by Gonzalez.
Now batting the third baseman, number 9, Justin Egner.
Gives Egner a chance to keep the inning alive.
Tibercio gets down to second in time, stolen base.
We've seen his speed come into play in a lot of ways these 2 games.
Egner at the dish. Egner singled and scored back in the first and then flew out to left in the second.
Stolen base puts the Rams in position to tie the game yet again.
Lifted foul. Smacks off the backstop and the netting. And kind of protects the inside of the first base grandstand. Kind of hugs up right against the press box here at Municipal. 0-2 the count. Nate Miller trying to get out of this one here. He's ahead. Pitch outside, 1-2. Runner at second. That's Ty Bercio. Reached on a fielder's choice and then stole second. Used his speed to beat out a potential double play.
And then swiped the bag on a close play to get himself in range to tie the game again.
That one lined into center field, base hit. Throw home will be not in time. 6-6.
And Tibercio's speed come. I'm sorry, I keep doing that, Doug. No, my fault.
He's favoring his wrist or his arm there.
Maybe, but his speed came into play. Yeah, when he slid into second base to find the stolen base, he slid in pretty hard, but his speed comes into play again because the throw came all the way through the home plate, and that allowed the batter to get to second base. Egner.
So an RBI single and then takes second on the
throw, and that's in a tie game. That's with 2 outs. That's a big deal. Interesting alignment of the defense here.
Municipal Magic with 2 outs. That's the new name for it now. McLean. And called that a ball. He was able to check his swing.
Second baseman D. Sabatino right behind second base. A lot of spray charts in play now. Plus, there's a lot more video than there ever was. Plus, these teams had a week to study each other.
And these teams know each other so well, playing as many times as they do. South Division rivals. We'll see that tomorrow as well. 11 a.m. with the post-Felician game. 2 teams that know each other very well.
But the 3 games this year were very early, beginning of the conference schedule.
Throwback second.
That's the convenient. That's one other convenient part about having your second baseman station there. It's not that far away for a pickoff play.
To another count.
No, I don't follow the major leagues anywhere near as closely as I used to. There's a lot of things I can't take about it. It's a story for another day. But in the major leagues now, that's as far as he could go.
Swing and a miss there by McLean. 2-1.
Is that true? That the second baseman can't be on the other side?
Yes.
So where he is now, that's in the major leagues. That's as far as he could go. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I understand the new rules.
One way or the other.
Right. Got to have 2 on each side, I guess.
So what certain teams have started to do, they've done that where they've put their, whether it's second base behind the bag or shortstop behind the bag, depending on where they're shading to.
But they can't have 3 on one side of the bag anymore. Okay.
What they're doing is a lot of teams have now really started investing even more in speed on the infield positions.
Gotcha.
So if they hit something, the shortstop can cover that from the second base bag over.
Okay.
Lifted foul.
So whatever spray charts they have on him must indicate that when he hits the ball on the ground, he doesn't go the other way a lot. He goes middle or he pulls. So they don't invest a fielder where the normal second baseman would be. Whereas the outfield is playing pretty straight away. So when he hits the ball in the air, his spray chart must look a little more normal.
Smash to left. This one is gone!
They still haven't made a spray chart that covers that.
a 2-run blast for McLean, 8-6 Jefferson. Three home runs in this one, 5 total today. Lopez, Wood, and now McLean with home runs for the Rams. 8-6, 2 outs. Again, more runs being scored with 2 outs. Josh Lopez, who hit the first home run of this game for the Rams. That was a 3-run blast back in the first. Now at the plate, his first pitch strike from Miller. Struck out swinging his last at bat back in the 3rd inning. Quickly falls behind 0-2 to Miller.
They came into the day with 53 home runs in 43 games. And now they got 3 and 2 more.
Lopez stays alive. Still behind 0-2.
This is kind of a rhetorical question, but I do want to make sure. We are only in the 4th inning, correct?
We are in the bottom of the 4th.
Okay.
Swing and a miss. Miller strikes out Lopez. But the Rams get 3 runs. They go back on top, 8-6. We head to the top of the 5th. Back with more after this on the CACC Network.
Lightning 6.
Middle of the lineup, due up for Goldie here in the top of the 5th. 4, 5, 6 hitters. Musey, Walker, and Charles. 8-6 Jefferson. Let's kind of recap it for you. Goldie went up 2-0 in the top of the 1st on a 2-run single by Darren Miller. Then Jefferson went on top 3-2 in the bottom of the 1st with a 3-run homer from Josh Lopez. Goldie tied it up 3-3 in the 3rd. On a double by Miller, went to 3rd and then came around to score eventually on a wild pitch. That made it 3-3. Jefferson went back on top 5-3 in the bottom half of the 3rd. That came on a 2-run homer from Marquise Wood. Then 3 runs by Goldey-Beacom in the top of the 4th to take a 6-5 lead. And then 3 runs for Jefferson in the bottom half of the 4th. Highlight being a 2-run blast from McLean. And it's 8-6 our score. Musey bounces that one foul over towards the 3rd base bullpen. Bobadilla started, still on the mound for the Rams, eating some innings up here for Pat Horvath's crew. Swing and a miss there by Musey. Quickly falls behind 0-2.
Just I have to figure out, directions wise. I'm not used to going from here to there.
Yeah, they're playing at Mitchell Field.
Yeah. That's right on campus, right? No.
Popped up. Not going to stay in play. It should. And Egner calling off Lopez. Under it for the out. 1 away.
That's why when they said there was lights, I'm like, we had lights.
And that'll bring Kyle Walker to the plate.
Now back to the Lightning. First base, number 23, Kyle Walker.
That one going to drop into right center for a base hit for Walker. Second time he has reached base in this game. Reached on an error by the second baseman back in the fourth inning. And that'll bring Charles to the plate, the right fielder. Actually, a pinch hitter for Charles. Number 1, Demetrius Johnson. So 1 out, a runner at first. Lopez blocks that one.
Oh, like the 9th inning? I even said it to him. You're kidding me, right? He goes, yeah, that's right. I went like this. I go, I know. I said, you gotta pick a better pitch to argue with me.
Johnson, the pinch hitter, on for Charles. Jolico in the on-deck circle. 1-1 the count now on Johnson. Johnson, a senior from Glassboro, New Jersey. Pitch low and away. 2-1 the count. Partner, you wanted to talk about the 1911 game? Not a game played in 1911 between these teams, but
we're not quite that old.
Final score 1911, Goldey-Beacom over Jefferson back on March 22nd.
Yes, it was at Jefferson. It was the first game of a doubleheader, and yeah, we're at where we are now, and it at 8-6 after 4, it's at least worth talking about.
3-1 the count to Johnson. Draws the walk, puts runners at first and second.
Now batting for the Lightning, right fielder, number 28, Mitch Jolico.
Goldey-Beacom won the game. And it looks like they hit 7 home runs. My goodness.
Jolico, the left fielder, walked in each of his previous 2 plate appearances, did come around to score in the 4th.
Jefferson at one point in that game was ahead 8-3 after 4. After 6 innings, Jefferson was still ahead 8-6. Goldey-Beacom scored 6 runs in the 7th inning, a run in the 8th, and 6 in the 9th.
Right, so a little Lopez shaken up here. Coming out to check on him.
Catcher got hurt. Yeah. Really? Yeah, they're just tackling the umpire.
Yeah, everything's low, everything's high. You're calling it out of the, I'm like, I have pictures of it. It's like, no, the umpire's pretty on point right now. Weird. The fans are just chirping behind these guys. It's the worst. I know. Every single year.
My eyes weren't on the field at the time. Did he take a pitch?
I was looking down. I was reading
Okay.
something in the scorebook, and
And we've talked all day about how the catchers have been working hard and blocking balls, and both catchers in this game also caught their team's first game.
oh, he blocked a pitch, but
Just took it in a bad spot, maybe.
oh, and he is not happy. Did he take it off the hand? Looks like he took it off the hand. Oh, he. He was not happy, and that's unfortunate because Josh Lopez has had a terrific day so far. Not just at the plate, but behind the plate too. All right, so we are going to have a change behind the plate, unfortunately. I was really enjoying watching Josh Lopez play today. Putting on a great performance, offensively and defensively. And are they making a pitching change as well?
Yeah.
Bobadilla, yes, he is done for the day. All right, so the depth for Jefferson will be tested in this one.
You gotta just mute it.
All right, but let's see who's coming in. This could be, is this Anthony Pilari? All CACC reliever? It is Anthony Pilari, graduate, student, right-handed pitcher from Tinton Falls, New Jersey.
And honestly, why not?
Looking at it here, partner, watching a replay up in the booth. Pitch went to Lopez's right, and he dropped the block. It almost looks like he just jammed up his finger, wrist, hand, whatever it was. But when he got up to throw it back to the pitcher, he started shaking the hand.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, well, right there, you can. And right as he doesn't even throw it. He's getting ready to throw it back to the mound, and stopped and. So that will mean that Diego Santiago, the catcher who's been DHing in this game, will move behind the dish. That's unfortunate.
This is the situation I was telling you about before. So the pitcher who came out of the game? Lopez, right?
Yeah.
The pitcher's in that spot. This is what I was telling you about before.
Ladies and
Pilari
gentlemen,
is
your
there.
attention, please.
The DH is
Now
catching.
pitching for the Rams, number 36.
Pilari is in Lopez's spot.
Let's get you Pilari's numbers on the year.
For the Rams, number 23.
Slash in the last spot.
Diego
Yeah,
Santiago.
that's the situation we were just talking about.
Pilari this season,
Yeah. Or he hit.
his 16th appearance. In his previous 15, 3.44 ERA. 6 saves, 18 and a third innings pitched, 14 given up, 10 runs allowed, only 7 earned, 24 strikeouts to 11 walks. Opponents are hitting .206 against him this year.
Yeah, but that's not the complete storyline, because what looks like happened is the designated hitter
Is now catching.
Santiago's
catching. Yeah.
But what that means is Pilari is in the lineup.
Swung on, lifted into right field. And that will move a runner up to third.
This is one of those areas where baseball differs from softball. You've put the designated hitter in the field. You've now lost the position of designated hitter. That means Anthony Pilari is now batting in Josh Lopez's spot.
That'll bring the second baseman Dante DeSabatino to the plate.
So it's obviously a risky run when your second catcher is also your DH. And we'll see how it plays out.
One another count to DeSabatino, who has been dangerous today for the Lightning. Doubled and scored back in the fourth inning. Lightning trail by a pair. Throw over to first.
So the Rams lead in the game, and they're either going to go to Polari one time around and hit for him, or they're going to try to manage the game and
Johnson
have him hit, depending on where they are in the game at the time.
down to second.
But first things first for Polari.
No throwdown.
No throwdown at all, and now he's at second and third with 2 outs, and
Walker at third, Johnson at second. 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Lightning trailing 8-6, but an opportunity here to claw away at this a little bit, maybe tie it.
was that the Sabatino at the plate again?
That is DeSabatino.
In the middle of every rally.
2-2 the count. As we mentioned, doubled and scored back in the 4th. But going up against one of the top relievers in the CACC and Anthony Polari. That pitch misses inside. Count runs full on.
So first things first, Pat Horvath is playing for the moment. He'll worry about the rest later.
Well, at this point, you got to when you get to the elimination game.
Yep.
And DeSabatino, surprise, surprise,
Yeah.
finds a way to get on.
Yeah. He's helped his
has
team
done it
again.
all day.
Yep.
Well, he's had a fantastic 2 games here for Tom Riley's squad. Well, as Jason King would always say, sometimes when you got to grind it out coming out of the loser's bracket, it becomes an all arms on deck.
Yeah.
Instead of the all hands on deck, all arms on deck.
Sure. What's the saying in Major League Baseball? Johnny Holstaff?
Yeah. If you can give us an inning, we'll take it.
Yeah.
McAvoy at the plate. Fouls that one to the backstop. Quickly falls behind 0-2 to Polari. So the base is full of Lightning. 2 down here in the 5th. And the Lightning down 2. 8-6. In this back and forth game. Pitch low. Nice job there by Santiago to block it. So I think a good thing to do here in between innings is I will step away. You can run the rundown here of how this is going to affect Jefferson because of your DH who's now catching. And as you said, Polari now in the lineup. That one gets away from Santiago. That's going to score a run, 8-7.
Well, the short answer is it's going to depend on what the score and situation is at the time he comes around the bat.
So runners now at second and third. Count now 2-2 on McAvoy. Run across now, so the Lightning now within a run at 8-7. Goldey-Beacom now has scored in 4 of the first 5 innings. That pitch over for a called strike. Polari gets out of that. Only giving up the 1 run, 8-7. The Rams lead it. Going to step aside for a quick commercial break. When we come back,
For Goldey-Beacom, the pinch hitter Johnson stays in the game in left field. Jolico goes over to right field. Nate Miller still on the mound. In relief of Kelchner. It'll be an interesting situation to manage now with the pitcher in the lineup. And I did check the stats between innings. Anthony Polari does not have any plate appearances this year.
Right fielder, number 13, Marquise Wood.
Now that spot does not come around for a while as Polari's in the 3 spot. And Lopez had made the last out of the previous inning, so Marquise Wood, the 4 hitter, leads off. We're halfway through. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Jefferson, playing as the home team, holds an 8-7 lead over Goldey-Beacom, playing as a visiting team. We're here in Waterbury, Connecticut, Waterbury Municipal Stadium. And we're in an elimination game of the CACC Championship Baseball Tournament. Marquise Wood, who has a homer in this game, is called out on strikes. So Jefferson trying to extend its 1-run lead.
The winning score was 39 Lopez.
Left fielder Joshua Lopez now at the plate.
Literally anything could happen. The hills of West Virginia.
He's 1 for 2. Wood misses up and away. Excuse me, Miller misses up and away. Fouls that one back as we go 1-1. Winner of this game advances to another elimination game at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Taking on whoever is unsuccessful in the day's first game between Felician and Post.
Derek, I looked over, I could not tell what kind of Gatorade that was, and I realized that was sunflower.
We've got 1 out
That's gross.
in the bottom of the 5th inning.
No, but it's full seats.
Lopez goes down swinging. Joshua Lopez. Good start for Miller in the 5th with a pair of strikeouts. Brings up Gabe Silva. Played a nice shortstop today. 0 for 1 in this game. Miller gets the call in the upper part of the zone. Miller might be thinking, didn't I just hit the same spot? But that one called a ball. 1-1. 2 outs, no one on. Here in the 5th. Handled at third base. Clean throw over to first. And a clean inning for Miller. Nothing doing for Jefferson in the bottom of the 5th, but they maintain their 8-7 lead. We'll take a short break and be right back with you for the 6th inning.
We head to the top of the sixth inning, top of the order due up for the Lightning. Petrillo, Colemansberger, and Miller. 1, 2, 3 hitters. Petrillo has singled twice here in the game. In the first and fourth innings. He came around to score back in the first. Scored the game's first run. Pitch misses outside. Polari still on the mound for the Rams.
And I did check before he had gotten hurt. Josh Lopez had made the last out of the previous inning, so Polari's spot doesn't come around for a while. So right now his assignment is to protect this 8-7 lead.
1-1 the count. That one fouled off over towards the first base grandstand.
And we were kind of caught up in Josh Lopez exiting the game and the DH coming in, but
one ripped into right center. However, Ty Bercio under it for the out. Once again, showing the ground that he can cover with his speed. One away.
But what I want to talk a little bit more about is the decision to bring Polari in at this point in the game. And basically, my thought is, why not? This is when, the save is not necessarily going to come in the ninth inning. The save may come right now. And why not bring him in now in a tight situation and see how long he can go? If you lose, your tournament's over.
Swinging a miss there by Colemansberger. And here's the other thing, and another way this game could play out. We've seen it before in the postseason, regular season. You get a rash of runs early on, and then all of a sudden it may shut down. You may get relievers that come in and get into a rhythm, and next thing you know, maybe you only score one more run a game. The rest of the game. So this is a big. This is, as you said, the save opportunity right now.
Saw that last year with Felician with Dylan Waltz.
2 years ago.
The long relief appearances.
Ripped foul down the third base line. Winner of this one won't come back here and play until 2 o'clock tomorrow in yet another elimination game. The winner of this one will face the loser of our winner's bracket game tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., and that'll feature North number 1 Post and North number 2 Felician. Two programs that know each other very well, and that'll be a rematch of last year's championship final. Nice job there by Egner. Throws on to first. 2 down now in the 6th.
Now, the games have been high scoring, but they've been well played.
Mm-hmm. And there's been some good pitching at times, too.
Yeah. I mean, game 1 today was tight for most of it. Felician pulled away, with a couple of runs late, a big inning late, but that was a nip and tuck game for most of it. Second game was decided on a walk-off, and this one's 8-7. Been a lot of game situations, and it's been a lot of fun in a competitive way.
That one bounced foul, and of course that second game, 16. The first 16 runs of the 17 total all came with 2 outs.
And that's a testament to the two teams and their offenses.
Pitch low, 1-2.
It's supposed to be hard to score with 2 outs, and they made it look easy. It's not easy. A lot of execution involved at bat and on the bases to make that happen.
1-2 the count. Nice job there by McLean. Climbs the ladder for that one.
That was a nice job all the way around. Not a bad pitch. Good plate coverage. Nice play.
So 3 up, 3 down. Polari retires the side to the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 8-7 Jefferson. Back with more after this on the CACC Network.
Number 23, Diego Santiago.
We head to the bottom of the 6th. The catcher, Diego Santiago, leading off.
As we
7, 8,
mentioned,
9 hitters, bottom of the order, due up for the Rams here in the 6th.
as we mentioned, started the game as a designated hitter.
First pitch over for a called strike. I mentioned about the Volt Green batting gloves. Never heard from Tom Shirley. So. He may not be responding just out of principle, saying he's not going to even entertain that idea.
That's how bad it was. That's how much of a bad idea it was.
That pitch misses outside.
Tell you what, I do miss the camaraderie of the CACC, but I don't miss the daily grind.
Understandable. 2-1 the count. A lot of good camaraderie. Speaking of that, and I'll tell a story after this pitch. That one ripped into left field for a base hit. Leadoff single for Santiago. When I stepped out from the press box that last inning ago, when you covered for me, thank you, I went downstairs and saw Garrett Musey and Albert Bobadilla kind of come up and give each other like a bro hug, sportsmanship hug. And Musey said, and I'm going to look at his, he said, great job. I think it was the 3rd inning when Bobadilla struck him out.
Mm-hmm.
He got him on that pitch that really got him, just hand tied him up. And, just went over and said, hey, great pitch on that one. Bobadilla said, it's tough to get you out. So, good sportsmanship.
Absolutely, good appreciation of the abilities. Meanwhile, Gonzalez, who entered the game earlier, tried to bunt there and popped up the bunt right back to Miller. Miller's done a nice job.
He has. Both at the plate and in the field today.
No, I'm talking about the Miller on the mound.
Miller, excuse me, beg your pardon. Too many Millers.
Yep. Not that you're wrong, but...
Tibercio at the plate. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the 4th. Stole second as well that inning.
I mean, statistically, it doesn't look great for Miller. 3 earned runs in 3 innings, but
he's battled
and settled things down in a game like this. That's not a terrible line. He's giving his team a chance to get back at the plate and move ahead.
1-1 the count on Tibercio. And McAvoy, the Goldey-Beacom catcher, goes back to that kind of that relationship that the catcher and home plate umpire build up over the course of a game.
You need people skills to be a catcher, in addition to all the other skills you need.
But it's really true. You said it earlier. They're both out there having to protect each other as well. 2-1 the count.
And I'll tell you what, my people skills definitely improved in the decade plus that I was an umpire. You learn things like watch your body language and watch how your tone matters as much as what you say. Just little things that you wouldn't think about in the course of daily life.
2-2 the count. Good point.
Just little things like the act of pointing can be considered aggressive, and the way you stand and talk to somebody with your hands behind your back as opposed to on your hips. Little things like that.
Popped up into shallow. Right center there. DiSabatino under it for the out. 2 away.
You kind of learn to be a leader a little bit because this is you and your partner out there running the game. And you're the only 2 people on your team.
And that brings the third baseman, Justin Egner, to the plate. Egner, pair of singles here tonight. Singled and scored in the first. Singled and also scored in the 4th. The one in the 4th inning that he had the single was an RBI.
As much as this is a high-scoring game, it's also a one-run game, and Jefferson would love to push this extra run across, as shown by them attempting the sacrifice bunt. Wasn't successful, but shows where their mindset is right now.
1-0 the count to Egner. Fouled off over the grandstand along the first base side. Count even at 1-1. As mentioned, Egner has singled and scored twice here in the first inning and the fourth inning. Actually singled, had an RBI single in the fourth, advanced to second on a throw home, and allowed him to get into scoring position. And then he came in to score as McLean followed him in the fourth with that 2-run blast.
Santiago singles start the inning, hasn't moved.
Pitch over for called strike 2-2. The count evens now on Egner. Just a reminder, fans, tomorrow 11 a.m. first game. We'll be live here on the CACC network. Post versus Felician will be on the air at 10:45 a.m. with the pregame show. Following with first pitch at 11. That one's going to get through the right side. Base hit. So the third single of the game here for Egner.
And we talked about those spray charts. That was the right side where nobody was.
First baseman, number 7, Chris.
Could be a change to the schedule, so we'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Could be a potential hour earlier start tomorrow once again. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated. We'll see if we can find anything out before we go off the air tonight. Just got to get 2 in tomorrow. Throw back to second.
Now, we talked about it earlier. Playing the second baseman up the middle like that does put him in prime position for a pickoff.
McLean hit by a pitch in the first and scored. Also hit by a pitch in the third and then hit the 2-run.
And who do we have on deck for Jefferson? That would be Polari's spot.
See if we can get a number down there on the on-deck.
Because if it is Polari, that changes the way.
That is Polari.
That changes the way this is now played. It changes the way you coach. If there's a single, you're probably more apt as the third base coach to send the runner. It changes a lot of things. And I did check. Polari does not have an at-bat this year.
So is it going to be one of those you think he just kind of keeps the bat on the shoulder?
I think it depends on what happens right here.
Swing and a miss there by McLean.
Obviously, if there's an out, it's the third out. He's going to pitch another inning, and then they'll make a decision there. If there's a walk and the bases are loaded, there might be a temptation to pinch hit. But if there's a single and there's any decision to be made about whether to send the runner from second, you're going to send them. It changes the way you coach.
One and two the count.
In fact, you don't. As much as you don't want any extra runners on base, it would be tempting to walk McLean and make Coach Horvath make a decision.
Well, you have a spot to put him if you wanted to.
Yeah, and then you make Coach Horvath either bat him or take him out of the game. Of course, then you have to throw strikes.
Pitch misses low.
So, a pitch away from a very interesting situation. I believe it's full, right?
2-2 the count.
2-2 on the scoreboard. Okay.
We'll see if the home plate umpire gives a correction there.
If not, okay. Maybe I'm...
I thought it was 2-2.
Okay.
But I could...
Oh yeah, that's no good.
Swung on, lifted into right field. However, Johnson under it for the out.
So the situation doesn't materialize. So now Coach Horvath can send Polari out to do his regular job, to pitch another inning, hope he gets through the inning, and then make a decision whether he leads off the following inning at the plate.
Middle of the lineup due up for Goldey-Beacom here in the top of the seventh. Musey, Walker, and I'm trying to remember right now. I'm drawing a blank. Johnson stayed in the game. He pinched.
Yes, stayed in the game in left field, and Jalico moved to right.
Okay,
Jolicoeur moved to right.
Jolicoeur moved. Okay, Jolicoeur moved to right.
And Johnson's in the left.
Okay, so Jolicoeur gets credit for the out there.
Yep.
And then Johnson goes to left.
Yep. But if McLean had walked, you would have had a very interesting situation there, where Coach Horvath would have had to decide to either take Polari out of the game for a pinch hitter, or let him hit up one with the bases loaded.
That's a tough call because you got bases loaded. It's only a one-run game. You got a chance to add on, and you can never have too many insurance runs. And
if they end up winning this game, might be a question worth asking him.
You serious?
And he may not answer. He may tell you, I don't know.
He may not want to tip his hand because they may run into a position like this later.
Right, because you don't know this. You don't know the status of Josh Lopez. Now, obviously, then you be starting the game with Santiago catching and somebody else with DH, but. Or he may tell you he hadn't decided yet. But right now, Anthony Polari is where the Rams want him, on the mound, trying to protect the one-run lead.
4, 5, and 6 due up for Goldie. Garrett Musey leading off. Gave a little tap to the shin pad there of Santiago as he came to the plate. Just kind of a...
Just seems like a guy that gets it.
Yeah. See a little recognition of, hey, I see you behind the plate. Tough to
from the story
switch the mindset.
But from the story you told earlier, and from him being a guy that's helped build the Goldey-Beacom program, just seems like he's kind of figured it out, kind of seeing the forest for the trees.
One-on-one the count to Musey. Well, he has been a slugger here in the CACC during his career. First team All-CACC this year as the DH. Second team All-CACC, Jalen Kelly. And we saw him launch a few in that 9-8 come-from-behind win.
That was fun to watch.
It was.
And like I said, neither home run he hit tied the game or put Post ahead, but I think both of them made them believe.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they were down 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
In the bottom half of that, going into the bottom half of that frame when he got that 3-run shot. That one tags Musey on the arm. He draws a leadoff leadoff hit by pitch.
I think a fastball that was riding in and rode in too much.
And that will bring the first baseman, Kyle Walker, to the plate. Walker has reached twice here tonight. Reached on an error by the second baseman back in the fourth inning. Did come around to score, and then also singled and scored back in the fifth.
This seems
that
like
made it 8-7 at the time.
Seems like over the years the hit batsmen just become more and more of an offensive weapon. Guys are learning how to take it without it hurting too much.
Well, the crowd on that plate. There's no.
That's the other part. They're not afraid to do that either.
That pitch over for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Kind of dare the pitcher to throw it under his arms without hitting him.
And maybe for a second that was just going to die there in fair territory. And if it did, that would have been an excellent bunt there.
Yeah.
By Walker. 0-2 the count.
That Johnson on deck has only been to the plate once.
Yeah, walked. Johnson did, who's on deck, walked in his only plate appearance, stole second, eventually moved up to third, but could not come in. That was back in the fifth inning. That one going to drop into left center. Cut off there by Ty Versillo. Runners at second and third now. Nobody out here in the seventh. So a double there for Kyle Walker. And Goldey-Beacom has something cooking here in the seventh. And the left fielder, Demetrius Johnson, now at the plate, as we mentioned. Drew a walk back in the fifth, stole second, moved up to third, just could not be brought home. Now he has a chance to bring a couple teammates home here. First, they'll visit out to the mound by the Jefferson pitching coach, Abraham Almonte.
Pretty good pitcher himself.
Almonte, we checked the computer here. I believe he was a Colorado Rockies draft pick.
He was a draft pick. Actually, I think I still have the Jefferson record book up.
We know because you have everybody else's thing, so it doesn't matter. We're good no matter what.
Go scroll up.
Arizona?
Arizona, okay. Back in 2017, round 26, pick 772.
He grew up not too far from here. He's from Danbury, Connecticut.
Want to know the count to Johnson, swing and a miss. Count evens at 1-1. Runners at second and third for the Lightning. They trail by a run, 8-7, here at the top of the seventh.
Interesting decision to pull the infield in with the one-run lead.
That pitch. Called a strike 1 and 2.
Gamble here by Coach Horvath, because now if a ball gets through, now you're losing. So he's kind of going for it all here. He's not playing for the tie. He's playing for the win.
Nice job by Santiago to block that one. He's got a pretty wide gap there up the middle. He can get one past the mound. Another nice job there by Santiago to block that.
But it's an interesting gamble. The other side of the decision would be to play the infield back. If the batter hits a ground ball, the game's tied.
3-2 the count.
He's hoping if the batter hits a ground ball, he cuts off the run, gets the out at first, and he's still ahead. The flip side is a single would score 2, most likely.
And Johnson strikes out looking. Thought he had drawn the walk.
Nope.
And that will bring Jolico to the plate.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 28, Mitch Jolico.
Great comeback by Polari. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Yeah, that's a big out right there.
Infield stays in.
See if it settles things here for the Rams. Still a pair of runners in scoring position for the Lightning. One away here in the seventh.
Same gamble by the Rams on the infield.
Jolico can't check his swing. Falls behind 0-1. Lifted into shallow right. Is this going to be deep enough? And nope. Mussi holds up.
Looked like the right decision.
Yeah, Polari cut off that, or excuse me, McLean cut off that throw.
Yep, Polari was backing up the plate.
But if he lets it go through, that throw's getting to home in enough time.
Yep.
So really nice throw there by the right fielder, Marquise Wood. So 2 away.
Infield backs off with 2 outs. The force player first. Obviously, the run wouldn't score for those new to baseball. And Polari 1 out away from giving his team a big lift.
If he gets this one here, that third base dugout's going to explode. If he can get out of this.
Now I'm looking at their bullpen because I want to see if they'll tip off what they're doing with him at the plate.
I don't think they've got anybody warming up
Well,
right now.
There's your
stretching, but
there's your answer.
1-2 the count. Sabatino stays alive. Boy, and if you're a Lightning fan, this is the guy you want at the plate right now.
Yeah, he's in the middle of it again. But Polari
swing, throw down to first, gets away! Run scores, tied at 8.
Oh my. And now you've got a big swing of emotion because Polari thought he had won the battle, let out a lot of emotion, the throw gets away, now he's got to regroup.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. And that brings the catcher Adam McAvoy to the plate.
Apparently the ball was not caught in the air. DiSabatino alert enough to take off right away.
Santiago really came out wide to get out from around the Sabatino.
And now Polari has to regroup.
Started to rush that throw too a little bit.
Thought he had finished the job. Pitched out of a second and third none-out jam.
Great job by DiSabatino though. Took
off right away. Made him make the throw, and you never know when that happens.
First pitch over for a called strike to McAvoy. And sometimes you get a little deflated if you strike out and you take off and maybe do a slow jog down there, but not to Sabatino. Nice job there. As you said, making things happen when the game finds him. He's going to get down to second with no throw.
Jefferson's not going to worry about that right now. They're going to try to keep it tied. Obviously, a base hit now will score 2 in most cases. But Jeff's going to put all their eggs in Polari's basket. Let's see what happens.
They escaped the jam with minimal damage, but there was damage, and the Lightning tie it at 8-8. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Take a stretch. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. We head to the bottom of the 7th, now tied 8-8. Miller's still on the mound for Goldey-Beacom, and his pitching counterpart, Polari, in the on-deck circle, getting ready to lead off here in the 7th. So that answers your question. How long are they going to ride with him?
Well, we talked about the last inning and how there was nobody warming up, and that looked like it would serve Coach Horvath's decision, and here he is. Thought he had pitched out of a second and third none-out jam. Got the strikeout, but the ball bounced and the ball thrown away, tied the game. And I don't know what his offensive career is like. He's got no at-bats this year, but I think if you're the coaching staff and if you're pitching coach Abraham Almonte, what you're basically telling him is don't overswing. Don't get hurt. Jog down the bases. Basically, you want him not to get hurt here. If he gets on base, it's a bonus, but you don't want him to overswing or get hurt. Looks like his first at-bat of the season.
Pitch inside for a ball. And watch, all he'll do here is hit a home run, take out one of the lights like the natural, and then we've got our Hollywood moment.
And as we mentioned, this situation set up by unfortunately Josh Lopez having to leave the game and Jefferson putting their designated hitter, Santiago, at catcher.
Fouls that one off over towards the first base grandstand. Getting a little cheer there.
Well, this also gives them something to rally around. I mean, you're in the 7th inning of a tie game.
And even if he puts together just a lengthy at bat.
Yeah, just give him something. Give him a spark.
And misses inside, 2-1. Now, if you're Nate Miller, you don't want to screw around here.
No.
Get you a walk, too. Foul to the back.
And it's a double-edged...
Even a 2-2.
I'm sorry, Doug.
Polari looked like he got a little bit of a jolt off that one.
It's a double-edged sword because if you're Jefferson, I don't know if you want Polari running the bases, but on the other hand, it's 8-8. Fights one off?
Hey, this is juicing up the dugout.
Absolutely.
Jefferson. This is showing that your pitcher is doing all he can to battle out there.
Graduate student, been with the program a long time. Been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot more ups than downs, but hasn't won the tournament yet.
Swing and a miss there. Not a bad showing there.
Not a bad showing, and also not the worst result in the world overall in the bigger picture. He's back in the dugout. He's resting. And now the guys that are on scholarship to hit are going to go to work.
And if he did anything, he made Miller throw about another 6-7.
Yes, that's not a bad thought either because the live stats are showing him at 62 out of the bullpen.
So that brings Marquise Wood to the plate. Wood with a 2-run homer back in the third. 1 for 3 tonight. Grounded out to third in the first. Also struck out looking in the fifth.
And now if you're Coach Horvath, you're thinking if Polari's spot comes around again, you're hoping you're either ahead or you're probably in a spot where you're going to take him out of the game anyway because he's throwing a lot of pitches.
A pitch over for a strike. Could you do me a favor? Could you look for me? And the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Chris McLean, has he scored 3 runs in this game? I want to make sure that I've got this.
He's got a home run. Let's see.
Scored a run in the first, had the home run in the fourth. That one's going to drop into center for a base hit for Wood.
Chris McLean is 1 for 2 with 3 runs scored and 2 RBIs, obviously coming on the home run.
I just wanted to complete my sheet there. For some reason, I did not give him credit for the run.
Okay.
When Wood hit the home run back in the third. That's why I was looking at that
Okay.
for a second. So a single for Wood. That's his second hit of the ball game. And that brings the left fielder Joshua Lopez to the plate. Pitch misses inside. 1-0 the count. .24 on the East Coast. We got here around 8 in the morning, so 12 and a half hours to field today. Long day. Long day indeed. 2-0 the count.
I think I told you a story when we went out to lunch recently. I'll tell it on the air. I was very proud that Samantha Flecker's graduate assistant, who was my undergraduate assistant at Felician, a young lady by the name of Amanda Ramirez, recently asked me to write her a recommendation because she's about to get her master's from Felician, and she wants to work in college athletics. I guess I didn't really teach her anything. And I said to her before I wrote the recommendation, I said,
swung on, lifted into center, however, right at Petrillo.
I texted her before I wrote the recommendation. I said, are you sure you want to do this? And her answer was, yeah, I'm starting to enjoy the chaos that is athletics. That was her answer. So
She's a young person.
She's a young person. She's got a lot of energy, but she also has an awareness of what she's getting into.
And that brings Gabe Silva to the plate. Silva drew a walk back in the first inning. Grounded out to short in the third, grounded out to third in the fifth.
And there's a lot of good things about working in college athletics, but young people have to understand what they're getting themselves into. In a lot of cases, there's no overtime. And you're in an entertainment industry, so you work when a lot of other people are off.
1-0 the count to Silva.
You can't worry about things like your hourly rate. Can't worry about, what the rest of the world is doing. You have to do it because you love it.
You have to be in it for the outcome, not the income.
That's deep. I like it, though.
Told to me by Commissioner Merrill.
Okay.
One and one the count. Pretty impressive after I fouled to the backstop after 12 and a half hours at the ballpark. I give it deep.
Yeah.
For the day.
Yeah. But what better source than Commissioner Mara?
Yeah, you're on the top 5%.
1 and 2 the count to Silva.
But I will be serious for a second, saying that now after 26 years in it, that I've been out of it for a year and a half, there's a lot of things that I miss, and I do think that you people that are still in it are blessed to do it every day, despite the grind. You may not feel that way in hour 13 coming up, but trust me, you are. And I'm didn't get to say it at the top of the show at 10 a.m., but I'm very grateful that I was invited to work this tournament this weekend.
I'm glad to have you part of it. Really helped enrich the broadcast here, no doubt about it. 1 and 2 the count to Silva. Wood takes off. Going to get down there in time. Stolen base. So Wood using his speed.
Yeah, it's a good risk-reward situation. If you get thrown out, yeah, it's still a tie game, but there's 2 innings left.
And if you get down there safe, now you got a runner in scoring position.
Now, something drops in, or if he hits a ball on a line, you get a good chance to score on a single.
And would it be shocking right now if Jefferson did score a run?
No, of course not.
We've seen so much 2-out magic today in all 3 games, especially that second one. 2-2 pitch on the way. Pitch misses outside. Count runs full on Silva.
Looked to be a good call. Looked like it was over the line of the batter's box, although McAvoy didn't like it.
Yeah, he looked over to the dugout, kind of maybe trying to plead his case to his coach.
Yeah, shrug his shoulders a little bit, but
say something to the home plate umpire.
Did look like the ball crossed the line of the batter's box.
No,
not the white.
That was a good call.
Not the white of the plate.
And on the hands, is that going to drop in? It will! Throw home! Not in time! 9-8 Rams! So again, some 2-out magic. And Jefferson goes back in front.
As we talked about, the 2-out, 2-strike stolen base was low risk, high reward. There's the reward.
And that brings Diego Santiago to the plate. The catcher started off the game in the designated hitter role. Switched to catcher after Josh Lopez had to leave the game with I'm not going to speculate, some sort of a hand injury that looked like. Throw over to first. So 2 gone. Runner on first here. And the throw down to second. Safe. Oh, that was a nice throw by McAvoy. Just looks like Silva just beat the tag.
Yep. And you're seeing the whole gamut of the Ram offense this game. 3 home runs. Now they're stealing some bags with 2 outs. Getting the big hits they need.
That one, fair ball! Down the right field line. 2 out. Run scoring double.
And the last 2 batters have gone the other way. So you're seeing the whole abilities of their offense.
RBI double for Santiago.
Number 6, Alex Gonzalez.
10-8. McAvoy going to come out to the mound. We're going to have a mound visit here. I do want to say something quickly about Nate Miller for Goldey-Beacom. I know 2 runs have been given up here, but we talked about how Polari has helped, stabilize things for Jefferson. Miller's given them a lot of innings here in a relief role tonight, and his.
Yeah, the stat line is not going to look good whenever his night ends because he's given up 5 runs now, but
they've never let the game get it away from them to the point where it's like all of a sudden it's 14-8 or something.
No, he's battled.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get that. A pitcher comes in and next thing you know, it's batting practice.
Yep.
Especially in these types of games with the bats, and it's been complimentary because they've been able to score runs as well.
The umpire signaling both teams using a conference there. Goldey-Beacom, the defensive conference, and Jefferson, the offensive conference. And as I said the last game, there's a lot of accounting that goes into being an umpire nowadays that you didn't have 10, 20 years ago. A lot of different types of conferences that you have to count. Not just about making the calls anymore.
So 2 outs, runner at second, 2 runs across in this inning for Jefferson after Goldey-Beacom had tied it with a run in the top half of this inning. Pitch misses low.
With Jefferson, you've seen the power game, and now you see them steal bases and go the other way and create runs to go back ahead. You've seen all the capabilities of their offense. And they still have to get 6 more outs to escape. Again, as we talked about earlier today, big difference between 7-inning game and a 9-inning game at the college level. If this were a 7-inning game, they would have just walked off. Now they got to figure out 6 more outs. Against the Goldey-Beacom offense, it's just as potent.
1-1 the count to Gonzalez. Bounce to third. Miller throws on. That will do it for Jefferson, but the Rams score twice here in the bottom of the 7th. They take a 10-8 lead. We head to the top of the 8th. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. We head to the top of the 8th. Top of the order, due up for Goldey-Beacom here. 1, 2, 3 hitters, Petrillo, Colemansberger, and Miller. Center fielder Christian Petrillo singled and scored back in the first, also singled in the fourth.
Man.
Also has a pair of flyouts.
Tough day for catchers.
And Santiago, where'd he get hit at? I was reading off my...
It was a short hop. I'm not really sure.
Nice job there by the home plate umpire going out to Polari.
Yeah, you had talked about that earlier.
Just seeing if he needs a fresh ball or anything.
Yep.
Took a look there at the plate, just need to see if it needed to be dusted off.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, just both the catcher and the umpire have to take care of each other. Because it is high velocity down there. Oh, another one. Santiago blocked that one. Looked like he almost took that one off the forearm, too, a little bit on the inside. 1-1 the count to Petrillo.
But we've seen that to make Polari effective. So many of his pitches have that downward break.
1-2 the count.
So it's not going to stop anytime soon. And again, more twists and turns.
Swing and a miss by Petrillo.
Think about the last inning where Polari let runners get on second and third with nobody out. Thought he had pitched out of it, only to see the throw from the catcher go into right field. 1-run score, the game tie. He gets the next out. Then he has to lead off the inning. See 7 pitches before he strikes out. Then see his team pick up 2 runs for him. Now he's back out to protect another lead.
Colemansberger lifts that one into center.
And it looks like he's got the first 2 outs here.
Ivercio under it for the out.
It goes back to the conversation when he came in the game, which I believe was in the 5th inning. Why not? If you lose the game, your tournament's over. Why not go to your best reliever? Because at that point in the game, that's when the save was. You don't know what's going to happen 4 innings later.
Swung on, lifted into the left. That's going to drop in there. 2-out single for Miller.
That brings the tying run to the plate. He's going to have to work harder again.
And with the way the runs have been scored in this game, with 2 outs, can't take anything for granted there when you got 2 outs and nobody on. And that'll bring Garrett Musey to the plate.
Especially not with this guy. He's been quiet today, but...
Musey hit by a pitch leading off the last inning in the 7th, came around to score.
On the error we just talked about.
Ball's behind 0-1 to Polari.
Like we said, everything he throws is good downward break. Tough on a catcher, tough on a hitter.
Pitch low, count even at 1-1. Throw over to first. Miller back. And that one plunks Musey once again. That one hit him kind of hit between the 5s there.
Okay. 2 outs ago.
Another big spot in the game with Polari hovering around 50 pitches.
2 outs, 2 on. 2 runs is what separates right now. Jefferson and Goldey-Beacom 10-8. The Rams lead it.
Now batting.
That'll bring the first baseman Kyle Walker to the dish.
Kyle Walker.
Walker has scored twice in this game. Reached on an error by the second baseman back in the 4th inning. Came around to score. Singled in the 5th. And eventually scored. Doubled and moved up to 3rd back in the 7th inning. Couldn't get him across.
Not sure what this conversation's about. Pinch runner.
We're going to do a pinch runner here. And that is, looks like number 2, Matt Benner, Jr. from Souderton, Pennsylvania. Yep, number 2. Matt Benner.
Attention, please. Pitch running for Goldey-Beacom. Number 2, Matt Benner.
Representing the tying run.
go-ahead run at the plate, and Walker, pops this one up, foul territory! Oh, what a grab by Polari! Oh, the catcher lays one out!
Polari caught it, though?
Polari caught it.
What else can he do today?
Oh, my God, and he is being welcomed by his teammates as he should. Threat averted. 10-8 Jefferson. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Back with more after this on the CACC Network.
Yeah, so you can flash it on.
For Jefferson,
We head to the bottom of the 8th.
Jordan Tabercio.
Tabercio.
So I don't know what
Know the count.
the Jefferson bench would be rooting for, but we are one base runner away from Polari getting another chance to plate. And I don't see anyone warming in the Jefferson bullpen, do you?
Egner in the on-deck circle. Can't see who's in the hole.
What about the bullpen?
I think that's Polari in the hole. He's on the steps of the dugout.
Well, you got
I think that's it, yeah, with the bat in his hand.
Well, you got McLean in between.
He's up fourth.
So he'd be up fourth, yep.
He'd be okay.
But my question is,
I see
anybody...
him on the bottom step of the dugout.
But my question is the bullpen.
Bullpen, no one is.
Well, that'll tip you off to what their plans are.
2-1 the count.
And obviously their plans are if he's spot comes up, he's hitting.
3-1 the count on Tabercio. Nate Miller still on for the Lightning.
And we talked about it when he struck out, that they were hoping that if his spot came around again, they'd either be ahead or that he would have thrown enough pitches that they would have to take him out.
Pitch over for a called strike. Tabercio getting ready to head down to first base. Home plate umpire said, nope, I got different plans.
Yep, just had discarded the bat. Tries to make good as he gets back in the batter's box. The old school says you better swing at this pitch, but, modern days, well, again, with all the cameras, you can't just do that anymore.
And there, Tabercio draws the leadoff walk here in the 8th.
See, the old school of baseball says the umpire would call that one too, but again, there's too many cameras and there's no reason to do it. You get bad ratings. There's no reason for the umpire to be vindictive. The ball was up.
How many bad ratings do you think we've had today?
You went high?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm afraid to choke on my phone right now.
Tom Riley coming out now to the mound. I think that's going to be it here for Nate Miller. Maybe we have somebody coming in from the pen. Yeah, they're coming out to greet him.
Nate Miller threw more than 80 pitches as a reliever in a relief outing.
Well, there again, if they can come from behind and win this game, he helped them not burn through their pitching. So
Sure.
You said, what is it, 5 runs that he's given up here?
Yes,
One and 2/3. But,
yeah, so it's not going to look good, but
the stat line's not going to tell the story.
correct.
Especially if they are to find a way to come from behind and win. That's why the most important phrase in postseason, regardless of the sport, survive in advance. That's all that really matters. Find a way. You know, like you said with Polari, it's like you're not going to hold them back, because if you do, your chance for a championship's over. You know, you're going to let it hang out on this one.
No, when the game needed to be saved, was right there. Mm-hmm. And then the work he's done afterward has been impressive as well. But
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
And Miller avoided from letting it become maybe a 13-8 game, or, you know, so.
And it's a silly thing, but college baseball a lot of times runs on emotion. And obviously, Coach Horvath would have rather had Josh Lopez at the plate than Anthony Polari. But that at bat that he put on, even though he struck out, he put 7 pitches into the at bat, and he gave his bench a little bit of levity and had him relax a little bit. And they ended up scoring 2 runs that inning. Are the two things connected? I don't know, but there's a chance.
Carl Schmidt, the senior lefty, coming out of the pen now for the Lightning. I'll get you his numbers here in a moment. Carl Schmidt this year, this is his 13th appearance. In his previous 12 appearances, no starts, all out of the pen. 2.74 ERA, 0-1 record, 1 save, 23 innings pitched, 19 hits allowed, 11 runs given up, only 7 earned, 24 strikeouts to 10 walks. Opponents batting .221 against him. Egner tries to get the bunt down.
Now, again, you're in an interesting situation with Polari in the lineup, because do you bunt here? With him, with Polari 2 batters away. They're doing it.
Egner pulls the bat back, called strike.
Now let's take a look at the Jefferson bullpen. Is anybody starting to throw yet?
Nope.
Because if somebody was, that would make you at least that they're at least thinking about pinch hitting for him.
Nope. But I also have a little bit of a blind spot looking down into the bullpen, so I can't say for sure.
But again, having that pitcher in the lineup, that's not a two-way player, changes strategy, or at least makes you think about strategy. Probably not bunting now with 2 strikes. What you got?
They call balk there on Schmidt.
Yeah, and probably didn't stop.
And Tom Riley not happy with that one.
Nope.
Ibercio down to second.
And for the first time today, we're seeing one of the new rules that came into effect, I believe, last year come into play, where the coaches can't go on the field anymore. If you're an old school baseball person, it's a really strange thing to see.
And it's the first time today we've seen an animated coach.
Right. Where they can't go on the field to contest the call anyway. That's about as far as he's allowed to go without getting thrown out automatically.
Swung on, lifted into right. Jolico under it for the out. Fabricio remains at second, 1 away, and that will bring Chris McLean to the plate. McLean scoring 3 times in this game. Hit by a pitch in the first, came around to score. Also hit by a pitch in the third, came around to score, and then had the 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. Flew out to right.
And who's on?
Time up back in the 6th inning.
And is Polari on deck?
Polari is on deck.
So now that
Polari's on deck, bat in hand.
The difference between McLean's at bat last time and this time is there's only 1 out. So now if you walk McLean, even if you get Polari out, you got to face another hitter.
Throw down to third. Safe. Fabricio.
Again, that's another aggressive play that may be motivated, at least in part, by the pitcher being on deck.
And it's only a 2-run game. You know,
So you're trying to get another run any way you can, working around that pitcher being on deck that you're not going to take out, obviously. But it's also another example of the speed we've seen from Tibercio today.
Can never have too many insurance. Oh, wait, no. Oh, okay.
So now they're going to do it.
Okay, so they're gonna walk McLean.
So now they are going to walk him, even with one out, and make Coach Horvath make a decision.
So that puts runners at the corners, only one away here in the bottom of the eighth. 10-8 Jefferson. You can never have too many insurance runs. So the Rams, this is a big opportunity.
So now they're going to make Coach Horvath and the Rams make decisions here. The infield's in. Again, I don't know Pilari's history before this year, but he had not had an at-bat before this game this year.
Well, the juice is once again coming from.
Do you try to bunt? Do you just make him take 6 pitches? What do you do?
Oh, the juice once again coming from the Jefferson dugout.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you when you were making that point. It's a very good point.
No, that's.
It's just amazing that it's come down to this.
And what it could potentially do is potentially throw off Schmidt a little bit, who's already got the balk this inning. That one ripped foul over towards the Goldey-Beacom bullpen.
I mean, it makes you wonder how much does the coaching staff know about his ability to handle the bat? Do you trust him to try to lay down a bunt, or do you just let him play it out and leave it up to the next hitter?
Well, he's taking some healthy swings. He's made some contact. It's not like he's up there completely flailing away.
It looks like they're not going to try to do anything too fancy with him and just hopefully let Wood take a shot at it.
1-2 the count. Besides, even if he strikes out here, it's 2 outs, and there's
They're trying to do this.
See, I don't understand.
Oh, he threw it away! Run scores, Tibercio, McLean the third. 11-8. Oh my, that's an error at the worst time.
See, it worked out.
Oh, wow.
It worked out, but with 1 out, it's an interesting strategy when you could just give Wood a chance.
What I was going to say is even if he strikes out, it's only 2 outs. And
Correct.
2 out magic.
That's why it's not necessarily a strategy that had to be done. I'll tell you what, Anthony Pilari has invested a lot of emotion into this game.
Now, if you're looking for an MVP in this game right now, you got to go with him. And it's been a side full of MVP performances tonight for Jefferson in this game.
I was just going to say, it's amazing that you're saying that in a game where they've scored 11 runs. But it's probably true.
Well, as you said, he came in when it was a safe situation there, and he has stayed in, and he makes the defensive play over here, gets them out of the jam, swing and a miss there. He makes that great defensive play over here.
But again, and
no, but I know what you're saying. It speaks to baseball.
Yes.
You know, okay, maybe the stat line isn't going to look great, but it's, watching the game, you're like, okay, I see why.
But the other thing, and we used to talk about this in the National League when pitchers hit, in his 2 at-bats today, he saw, I believe, 11 or 12 pitches.
Yes.
So he accomplished something at the plate as well.
And give your teammates some extra looks. What are the pitches like? How does he come to the plate?
Yeah.
Any telltale signs?
Yeah.
Anything that you can pick up.
Sure, Schmidt just came in the game. Maybe Wood could pick up something there. Sure. Absolutely.
Count even at 1-1.
And if Jefferson goes on to win the game, one of the biggest plays he made was the catch in foul territory. No, this has been impressive. He still has to finish the job, and obviously it's going to be left up to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken that at bat. But this has been impressive. And you're right. At this point, it's about living to fight another day. If Jefferson gets to the next round, tomorrow, whether it's Felician or Post, they'll figure it out then.
2-1 the count, and you got a little bit of time. You get to watch the other 2 teams duke it out tomorrow,
right.
The morning game, and you're a little bit fresher. Pitch misses just outside. Count goes 3-1. That pitch misses outside, so Wood draws a 2-out walk. puts runners at the corners for Joshua Lopez. Or
Yeah.
Joshua Lopez, yes. I did not make a mistake there. I called it right. I was thrown off by the PA announcer.
Who I don't think realizes they both have the same name, yeah.
So maybe, just maybe, I get through the day without a screw-up.
No, my perfect game was done a long time ago.
Oh. My perfect game was the second I woke up this morning.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining that I woke up.
No.
It's just I was destined to make a mistake in the broadcast.
The runner went again on the early break. This time Schmidt just threw the pitch.
Wood down to second.
Yep.
One and two the count. Schmidt steps off. Re-engages. Joshua Lopez at the plate. That pitch high and outside. Count even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for Jefferson here in the bottom of the 8th. 1 run across already. They now lead at 11-8. Important insurance run there for the Rams as we soon head here into the top of the 9th, and Goldey-Beacom down to its final 3 outs. Pitch misses outside. Count runs full.
Lopez could really put the Rams in a good spot. Wood's going to read the swing at second, try to score on a hit.
Swung on, lifted into foul territory. Walker takes a look at it, though. Heads over into the first row, grandstand side. Count remains 3-2. And Lopez draws the 2-out walk, puts runners at first and second. Someone is screaming their head off down there, and I'm impressed that they still have a voice to do it after they've been doing it nonstop.
Number 4, Dave Silva.
Tom Riley coming out. Have they been having someone warm up in the pen, or is this just a visit out here? No, someone's, and they're bringing it in the pen there, so I think but nobody out to greet them yet, so.
Yeah, if they have any chance to extend their season, they can't give up any more runs. 3 is going to be tough enough.
Are they? Yep, made the call to the pen.
Silva could really have the Rams sitting pretty.
And they are going to bring on #22, Mikey Hawbaker, junior righty from Hagerstown, Maryland. Baker, let's get you his stats. Paul Baker, this is his 15th appearance this year, mainly out of the pen. 14 appearances, 1 start, 4-0 record, 3.24 ERA, 25 innings pitched, 25 hits given up, 12 runs allowed, only 9 earned, 20 strikeouts to just 4 walks.
And now we've had our 3rd game of the day reach the 3-hour mark, but again, none of them felt like they've dragged. They've all been full of action. Doesn't make it any shorter a day for the staff, but At least the games have been entertaining.
Now pitching for Goldey-Beacom. Number 22, Mikey Hallbaker.
This is the other difference in my life over the last year and a half. I don't have to write a recap after this. I don't have to update any social media. So like I said, there's things I miss and there's things I don't miss. And they're about equal.
Yeah, there was no runner on second.
Oh, there wasn't?
No.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah.
that is crazy work not to score at least.
All right, so an important matchup because Silva could make it even more difficult for Goldey-Beacom. They're already facing a 3-run deficit with 3 outs to go.
Now batting for the Rams, shortstop, number 4, Gabe Silva.
So Gabe Silva, the shortstop, stepping to the plate. Silva in this game has reached base twice, had a walk in the first, singled, had an RBI single in the 7th, and eventually came around to score. So, first pitch of ball to Silva. McAvoy coming out to talk to Hallbaker quickly. What do you make of this? Already coming out to talk to him after one pitch, just making sure the signs are all squared away?
Maybe, because I don't know if the game's called from the dugout, but even if it is, it's relayed through the catcher. So probably just a miscommunication there. Wrong pitch thrown. Becomes an issue with catcher safety, too, after a while.
Big swing and a miss there by Silva. So a reminder, tomorrow 11 a.m. Schedule still on as originally constructed. That'll be Post and Felician in the winner's bracket. We'll be on the air at 10:45 a.m. with the pregame show. And we'll foul off towards the grandstand. 1-1 the count. And the winner of tomorrow's 11 a.m. game gets to take the rest of the day off and count 2-2 now. Or 1-2. 1-2 the count. The winner will get to take the rest of the day off and punch its ticket to the championship final on Saturday. A loser will have to stick around, play the winner of this one. That one hits Silva, and that one stings him a little bit there.
Yeah, we talked about before. That's a tough RBI.
Now batting, catcher, number 23, Diego Santiago.
And that scores another run. 12-8. Brings the catcher Santiago to the plate. Fouls that one off.
Last 2 to 3 innings, the Rams have just executed better in all aspects. They've made better pitches. They've stolen some bases. They've gotten some hits the other way. They've grinded out some at-bats to get on base via the walk and the hit batsman.
Swing and a miss by Santiago. 0-2 the count.
They've just done everything they need to do to take the lead and extend it.
Feels like the half of this inning is about ready to pass the 1 hour mark by itself.
Yeah, it's been a while. a long rest for Polari, who's throwing a lot of pitches.
Yes. And a strikeout there. But 2 more runs scored by the Rams. They get some insurance. We head to the top of the ninth. Lightning down to their final 3 outs. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. Lightning down to their final 3 outs as we head here to the top of the ninth. Goldey-Beacom trails 12-8.
We could even charge those batteries overnight if we wanted.
6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Lightning here in the ninth. Demetrius Johnson to lead off.
Leading off the top half of the ninth inning for the Lightning, left fielder
Johnson
Demetrius
walked back in the 5th, his first plate appearance. Got to 3rd, couldn't come home to score though. Struck out looking back in the 7th. Takes a first pitch strike there from Polari. Reminder for fans, stick around following the game. We'll have a post-game interview with the player of the game. Go over the final numbers, set the table for tomorrow. Count even at 1-1 to Johnson. Two and 1 the count. So for Goldie, if they cannot pull out the win here, as mentioned earlier, and I know my partner's not going to be wild about it, but number 4 in the East Region rankings, so the run for a championship here would end, but the season far from over. Swung on, lifted into left field, however, right at Joshua Lopez, 1 away, and that'll bring up Jolico.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 28, Mitch Jolico.
Single to center there for Jolico.
Gives him a little spark, a little hope.
That'll bring DeSabatino to the plate. And he has found a way to make things happen in both games here this afternoon and evening. Sabatino, a junior from Middletown, Delaware. Good-looking player there for Tom Roddick. That one right at left. Did he make the catch? He did. Oh, fantastic play there by Lopez. And the Lightning now down to their final out. And that will be the catcher, McAvoy.
Like I said, you're seeing the full game and everything they have to offer.
Catcher, number 9, Adam.
I'm going to have an interview here with Polari after the game. barring that we get through this here, and it's Jefferson still on the victorious side.
Take that Mario Kart course and just edit Gavin, you are in there,
And that one stung Santiago a little bit. Had Horvath coming out just to check on his catcher. Now you got to be careful if you're Jefferson here. You advance to tomorrow, your starting catcher's injured, and I'll say in the short amount of time, Santiago's taken a couple rough blocks there at the plate. Seems to be smarting from him a little bit.
Everything Polari throws hard and down. And if you were the base runner there was no reason to take a gamble. Down 4 runs.
That pitch just misses. Count even at 1-1. Bounced foul. And the Lightning down to their final strike. 1-2 the count on McAvoy. 2 away here in the top of the 9th. Runner at first. Goldie trails 12-8. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The Rams survive and advance to tomorrow.
Eventually disconnect
Final score.
12-8 your final score. Jefferson over Goldey-Beacom. And Anthony Polari is nothing short of outstanding coming out of the pen and did a little bit of everything. Had a couple plate appearances, made the Goldey-Beacom pitchers work a little bit, show some pitches, made a nice diving grab here in foul territory right in front of the first base dugout. Gives a jolt that the Rams need, and it wasn't just him, a lot of players here. 3 runs scored by McLean. 3 home runs in the game here, not just for McLean. Josh Lopez, before he went out with the injury, the home run by McLean. Wood had a 2-run homer. So a really terrific performance here by Jefferson in all facets. We're going to step aside for a commercial break. We come back, we'll get you the final numbers, and we will talk with Polari. Coming up next, right here on the CACC Network. Jefferson advances. They will play the loser of tomorrow morning's 11 a.m. game between Felician and Post. Back with more after this on the CACC Network. And we're going to be joined here momentarily by Jefferson relief pitcher Anthony Polari. And going to be joined here momentarily. Anthony, thank you for joining us. And come in, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 1 run on 3 hits. And my broadcast partner said at the time, when you came in, that was the save situation right there. Talk about it, because it just fantastic performance all the way around. You're pitching, you make the big diving play there in foul territory. We even talked about your 2 at-bats and making them throw pitches and allowing your teammates just to see some more pitches, on the on-deck circle, so they got a better feel for the pitchers. Just talk about just not just your performance, but just the all-around team performance, because it was really impressive tonight what you guys did.
Right. I mean, after the loss earlier, that was a hard blow, and coming back and being able to especially go against Goldey-Beacom, who's been our rivals for, since I've been here, and kudos to them, man, great team. But, we're fired up for sure, and we knew it. We had a little meeting before we got on the bus to come here, like, hey, this is it. This is our lives, especially for guys like me. 5th year, I'm done hanging up the cleats after this, so it's like, hey, we got to go to work. And I'm proud of the dudes. I'm proud of the guys. They, up and down game, nothing's pretty. Nothing's pretty in the playoffs. You see all these games. They've been ugly. As for myself, I told Abe before we even got here. He's known all year. Like, I've been battling with knee injury, back injury, whatever it may be. But what I got left, I told him. I just told him like this. I said, I'm up tomorrow. I'll go back out there tomorrow. I don't care. I said, I just want to win. I came back this year, took 1 class for my senior year, just to be eligible, and I thank my parents, because they supported me through it, and they were like, hey, go do it. I said, Dad, I'm only gonna go back because I want to win. I did the all conference thing, I did all that. It's like, I just want to win, and I'm proud of the guys.
Talk about some of the defensive plays made behind you tonight. Ty Bercio out in center field made a couple diving grabs. I think just the play along the infield, it seemed like you guys made, or your guys behind you made the plays that they needed to. Just talk about that, because there were a couple instances where Goldey-Beacom could have scored a few more runs, but defensively you guys came up and made some big plays.
Yeah, they're my guys, man. I mean, Jordan out there, he's like a dog. He's a young, freshman. He runs out there. He took over. Jay got hurt, and he's been in there ever since. He make those plays every day. At home, maybe it's not another bright lights like this, but he does the same thing. Run into the wall, and if he makes a mistake, he makes it at 1,000,000 miles an hour, which you can't ask for more than that. These guys, man, all the stuff they put in behind the scenes, it's like I don't expect anything less. I don't expect anything less from them. They've done it so much for me, and they've done it so much for our guys, and we wouldn't be anywhere without them.
Talk about your 2 at-bats. I think that was the loudest I heard your dugout the entire night. Just talk about how much juice you get from that one, because you got out of a couple big jams, in the game yourself on the mound, but it was much different at the plate there. They were hanging on every pitch with you. Just talk about how much fun that was.
Oh, I mean, I've been begging for it since my sophomore year. Because I came in here as a 2-way because I transferred in from Ryder. I was a catcher. Didn't start pitching until I got here. So I came in as a catcher, went in a big slump, didn't hit, but I was like begging H, come on, let me get in that bat. H, if we make top 3 in the region, I get to hit anything, and we got to do pitchers BP, all that, and I was like, I kind of showed out, and then, they told me I was going in the game, and I put the wristwatch on, and they're like, hey, you're hitting. So I got up there, and I was like, H was like, just treat it like summer ball, man. Go up there, have fun. If you see it up, hit it. I let the moment get a little too big. A couple heaters down the middle. I should have probably shortened up and drove it. I'm sure my dad will get on me for that. But I mean, I just tried, and it was fun.
When was your last at bat collegiately? We know there was none this year. Was it last year?
I transferred in. I transferred in as a sophomore. My freshman year at Ryder, I had a couple at bats in the fall. I fractured my back. Redshirted, didn't play, so I haven't gotten a legit AB since the fall of my freshman year, so about November of 2019.
2019, wow. So
yeah.
No, but hey, fantastic pitching tonight. Fantastic. You get the win, and best of luck tomorrow. You guys get to live to see another day.
Yes, sir. Fighting for our lives.
All right.
Appreciate it.
That's Anthony Pilar. He gets the win, 4 2/3 innings pitched, and Jefferson will face the loser of tomorrow's 11 a.m. game. That will be between Post and Felician. We hope you enjoyed it. 3 games today. Some fantastic baseball. Offense, defense, pitching. We had it all today. Until tomorrow, just a reminder, first game at 11 a.m. between Felician and Post. We'll be on the air at 10:45 a.m. with the pregame show. Until then, have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning right here on the CACC Network.